Yvonne was down here. They both would be down here.
No, it is what it is. All right, so we give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, everybody. Isaiah 8 and 10. Take counsel together, and it shall come to nothing. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for Elohim with us. For Yahuwah spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, say you not a confederacy to all them whom this people shall say a confederacy, neither fear you their fear, nor be afraid. Shalom, brother Herman. Sanctify Yahuwah of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of a stumbling and a rock of offense, to both for the houses of Yasharal, for a gin, and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Many among them shall stumble and fall, and be broken, and be snared, and be taken. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples, and I will wait upon Yahuwah that hide his face from the house of Jacob. I will look for him. Behold, I and the sons whom Yahuwah have given me are for signs and for wonders. In Yasharal, from Yahuwah of hosts which dwell in Mount Zion. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar ruachs, unto wizards that peep and that mutter, shall not a people seek unto their Elohim, for the living to the dead. Shalom, Amstep. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in him. We concluded with something that we're going to pick up in Isaiah 58, just for baseline purposes. Give me Leviticus 23 and what? Tell me what 30 say. People on my.
And whatsoever soul that do any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people.
Come on.
You shall do no manner of work, a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings.
Please, Joseph, man.
Unto you a Shabbat of rest, you shall afflict your souls.
Okay, back up. 27. Quiet.
Also on the 10th of this 7th month, a day of atonement, it shall be a Kadash convocation unto you. You shall afflict your souls, an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. You shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before Yahuwah your Elohim.
To make a what?
An atonement.
Make a what?
An atonement.
Tell me what that means.
It's Kippur, an atonement.
Come on.
For whatsoever soul that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people.
Tell him what afflict mean again.
That's anah, to be occupied with, to be busy with, to be humbled, to be afflicted, to be bowed down.
Paul. Hebrews 12 and 5. What's wrong with you?
And you have forgotten the exhortation which speak unto you as unto children. My son, despise not you the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when you are rebuked of him.
Son, what's happening to me?
It's Padilla, the whole training and education of children, which relates to the cultivation of minds and morals. It employs for this purpose now commands and admonitions, now reproof and punishment. It also includes the training and care of the body. Whenever an adult also cultivates the soul by correcting mistakes and curbing passions. Instructions which aim at increasing virtue, chastisement, chastening of the evils with which Elohim visits men for their amendment.
Come on.
For whom the Lord loved, he chastened and scourged every son whom he received.
Mm-hmm.
If you endure chastening, Elohim deal with you as with sons.
Mm-hmm.
For what son is he whom the Abba chastened not?
Shalom, good.
But if you be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are you bastards and
You
not
what?
sons? Are you bastards and not sons?
You what?
Bastards and not sons.
Go ahead.
Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected, and we gave reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Abba of spirits and live?
Mm-hmm.
For they truly for a few days chasten after their own pleasures, but he for profit, that we might be partakers of his Kadash.
Mm-hmm.
Now no chastening for the present seemed to be joyous, but
what?
grievous. Nevertheless, afterward
No chastening seemed what?
Seemed joyous, but grievous.
It seemed what?
Joyous, but grievous.
Proverbs 19:17. Shalom, brother Mark. Listen to it.
Say, he that have pity upon the poor, lend unto Yahuwah.
It's 15. Come on, Proverbs 19:15.
Say, slothfulness cast into a deep sleep.
Looking
for verse 18.
I don't even got that page in this book.
That's the one where it say chasten your son.
But that's what you can do. Go on the 15 is fine. Matter of fact, make it 11. You know what? Make it 10. I'll run all of them down.
Delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes.
Hold on. Tell me what delight means. You said that's not seemly for who?
For a fool.
Mm.
That's ta'anug, daintiness, luxury, exquisite delight, pleasantness, delight, comfort.
Now tell me what seemly is.
That's nave, comely, beautiful, seemly.
So comfort ain't beautiful to a fool. What else he say? Much less a servant.
To have rule over princes.
That don't seem like a beautiful thing for a servant to have rule over a prince. Now do it. Give me John 16:7. You can maybe this will help make more sense to you.
Nevertheless, I tell you the truth, it is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. And when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin, and of righteousness, and of judgment. Of sin, because they believe not on me.
What up?
Of righteousness, because I go to my Abba, and you see me no more.
What up?
Of judgment, because the prince of this world is judged.
The prince of this world is what?
Is judged.
Now, you know why we reading this? Because theoretically, Shlomo, what is Satan? He ain't nothing but a servant. See, go to Luke chapter 4. Tell me what verse 4 say. Because I'm trying to get straight to the point. I'm trying to hit about 4 or 5 points and as efficiently as possible.
And Yahushua answered him, saying, it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of Elohim.
Go ahead.
And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
What did he ask him then?
And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give you, and the esteem of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will, I give it. If you therefore will worship me, all shall be yours. Yahushua answered and said unto him, get you behind me, Hashatan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your Elohim, and him only shall you serve.
You see how delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over a prince. You know what it's also going to take you back to? Let's come to Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. Slow brother Ernest, man.
If you do well, shall you not be accepted? And if you do not well, sin lie at the door, and unto you his desire. You shall rule over him.
Hold on, listen what he said. Read it again.
He said, if you do well.
If you do what?
Well.
What?
Shall you not be accepted?
But if not.
Sin lie at the door.
And what happened with the sin?
Unto you his desire, and you shall rule over him.
You see how delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes? If you're supposed to be a prince or a ruler with God, why Satan got rule over you? Because you're yielding your members under unrighteousness. Same way you just seen, boy, it didn't seem seemly for Satan to have rule over Yahushua when Satan ain't nothing but a servant. Now, I mentioned all these things because these things are going to tie into the two things that we discussed. Wednesday, we discussed the level of faith, Shalom, Brother Robert, that Yahushua had in the midst of that affliction. You understand what I'm telling you? We ain't even got to the affliction part. But a part of that affliction is a humility. That's really why we're reading Hebrews 12 with the chastening, because it's the humility. See, many people going to go to hell because they refuse to humble themselves. Most people are fake humble. You know what I'm saying? Now, old people will tell you, give a man wisdom, and if he reject it, left life humble. You know what I'm saying? What's happening with you, Zoe? Prayerfully that everything went smooth with the delivery, man. I meant to text you about that. And then I started doing a whole lot of stuff and I forgot. So I apologize for that. But listen, you have to pay attention to that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because the man coming out here, man, if remember right, we read it, right? His Shalom, Mother Sharona. We read, right, that his name got changed to Yasharal. We read that, right? You know what I'm saying? As a prince with man and Elohim, you have power. So if you're going to be in the Son of God and the Son of God being you, it's not seemly for a servant to rule over you. That doesn't make any sense. Amen, brother. That don't make any sense. So that's why we read the Genesis 4. If not, sin lie at the door, and it's going to rule over you. You know what I'm saying? Most people, flesh rule over them. Their desires rule over them. Even as we were discussing Wednesday, their anxieties rule over them. Because anxiety is tied into worry. And worry is fear. And if you have anxiety, truth be told, 1 John 4 and 17, I let the apostle tell it to you. We start at verse 17. Praise you, Lord. Glad to hear it.
Herein is our love made perfect.
Our love is made what?
Perfect.
Made what?
Perfect.
Why?
That we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
What else?
Because as he is, so are we in this world.
What else?
There's no fear in love.
There's no what?
No fear in love.
There's no what?
Fear in love.
There's no what?
Fear in love.
Because
perfect love casts out fear.
Perfect love do what?
Cast out fear.
That's why we ended Wednesday talking about what? He keep you in perfect peace who mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Trusting you who forever. For trusting you who is everlasting strength. Now listen, we all know you're subject to light passion. See, we're not talking about a worry. You know what I'm talking about? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about continual. If you're paralyzed by anxiety, that means you're paralyzed with fear. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how anybody tries to spin that, that is what anxiety is, because you're worried. And when you're worried, you're in a constant state of fear because you're fearing about what can or would go wrong. You know what I'm talking about? That's paralyzing. If you've ever seen somebody have an anxiety attack, that ain't nothing nice to witness. You know what I'm saying? Because you're literally paralyzed with fear. Your perfect faith is supposed to cast that out. That's why I say, blessed is the man who trusts in Yahuwah, whose hope Yahuwah is. And he said they will not be careful in drought. They will have no anxieties. You know what I'm saying? This ain't something to be like, hey, we busting people balls when it comes to this right here. This is to give you an understanding that your perfect faith should cast out that anxiety. Because if you walk around in a constant state of anxiety, it can paralyze you at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, when you get in a situation where you have to rely on your faith and your fears arise, your fears may be greater than your faith and paralyze you in a moment where you're going to have to trust in God. That's why you have to cast that out. Because he's about to tell you this, that fear have torment. You know what I'm saying? Read verse 17 again, 1 John chapter 4.
Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world.
Listen.
There's no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear.
Because
fear have torment.
Because fear have what?
Torment.
What happened?
He that fears is not made perfect in love.
Listen, this is not a chance to be kicking yourself in the behind or thinking you less or that you're worthless. He's trying to give you an understanding that to perfect your love, you got to get the fear out. Everybody knows the passage that he wrote to Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, I believe. Listen what he say.
Say, for Elohim have not given us the ruach of fear.
He hasn't given us what?
The ruach of fear.
Well, back me up to verse 3, man, and rock it with it. So that breath, that fear, that don't come from him. You understand? So when I say that again, this is not to be derogatory. This is not to be belittling. This is not to pick. This is for us to get us an understanding that we ended Wednesday talking about he keep you in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because you trust in him. If your mind is stayed on him, that perfection of your faith can cast that out. See, one of the biggest problems that I think that I see individuals since the 15 years that I've been going on, 16 years that I've been doing this here, man, is that when you mention certain things, people take them personally. Shalom, Gary, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know why people do that, because most people who handle the word, shalom, 10K, attack people in that fashion. See, we're not doing that. This is for the purpose of you have to identify. Remember, Hebrews 12 say, hey, man, find the sin and the weight that beset you and cast them to the side so you can run the race with patience. As Solomon put it, every man know the plague of his own heart. Everybody ain't dealing with the same thing. You can have 15 people dealing with the same thing, and you can have 45 people that's not their deal. You know what I'm saying? Which is why Paul said, I make myself all things to all people, that I might say some. It takes skill. You know what I'm saying? There's a level. That's why I say wisdom is kokma. It's a level of skill. That's why I say those that win souls are wise, because they have a level of skill, because it's about reaching people. And it's not, let me tell you something, right? I was reading this here. Now, the dude, the Jaguar just hired, he pulled a real sucker move to get the job. I ain't gonna lie about that. You know what I'm saying? When your employer just gave you a contract extension to make you the highest paid in your job, and then the people who you was looking into and getting the job tell you, hey, will you take the job? And then you ghost these people and then lie and say you was in the doctor's office with your sick son all day. You know what I'm talking about? That's dishonorable. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I mentioned that because I read an article about him, and he does the same thing that I seen Bill Belichick do, that I seen Sean McVay do. They have a system, but they adapt their system to the strengths of their personnel versus trying to make their personnel fit their system. You know why? Because when you do that, that can discourage these people. Shalom, Mahar, if this is what you're trying to get people to do and they're not good at it and they don't have success, that causes a morale drop because you feel like you got to take it how I give it. You know what I'm talking about? See, a very effective coach, a very effective leader, a very effective instructor is going to instruct an individual based off what is the best way that I can impart this information so this person can be successful in the fulfilling of the vision. Do you know what I'm saying? If I need to communicate like this so he can reach that, then I'm going to communicate to him like this because this is what is necessary to reach him. I can't talk to him like I talk to him because he's not going to receive this information in this fashion. He's not. So then it comes down to, are you more concerned with doing it how you want to do it? Or are you more concerned with imparting the understanding so the person can get it and be successful? You know what I'm talking about? And most people don't understand that thought process. That's all he meant when he said, to a Jew, I became a Jew. To those under the law, I became as one under. See, people don't understand what he's talking about. He's trying to relate to these people in a fashion that they can understand. You know what I'm saying? Based off the doctrines that they was in, as forth as him disseminating the gospel. Because when he's saying to those who under the law, he talking about, hey, man, he coming to the Yahudim as a Yahudim according to the customs that the Yahudim live by. He said to those under the law, okay, if you under the penalty of sin and death, or you say you under this covenant, let me approach you in this fashion and preach you Yahushua HaMashiach like this. Whatever I got to do to reach you, that's what I'm going to do. Because you know why? He's going to sit back and he's going to read the individuals that he is around and see what is the best way to communicate to them. How can I communicate to them in a way that they can understand? I know if it's 100 of them, I ain't going to save all of them. But if I can save one, I did my job. See, the objective is to win a soul, not be right. I've told you that 1,000 times. Most people just want to be right. When you just want to be right, that wisdom James told you about that's sensual, that's devilish, that ain't from on high. Nobody don't care. If you already know that God is right, you don't care about being right. You only care about being right because of your pride. That's your ego. You did? Get that for him, man. James 3:17. For sure, Omar. And then we come right back to what we did. What was that? 1 John 4? No. 2 Timothy 1:7. That's right there. You know what I'm saying? You got to find out acceptable words, man. Because it's about the people. It's not about you. You know what I'm saying? Great leaders, great coaches move and set things up to be able to fit their personnel. to fit the regimen of people that they're leading. They don't try to make the people fit them. You know what I'm saying? But it's usually people who do that, they're highly unsuccessful. You know what I'm talking about? And a multitude of things, man. And that's why everybody's not, that's why I be tripping when I be seeing Shalom, Brother Shaw. Like I see women on threads all the time and they be like, yeah, plan the date, lead. Baby, that ain't got nothing to do with leadership. A jackass can plan a date. You know what I'm saying? If you think that's leadership, you've never been in the presence of a leader at all in your life. You know what I'm saying? And that's not just disrespectful to them per se. That's just showing you the generation of people that we in, what they think leadership entails. You know what I'm saying? Because leadership entails that there's nothing leadership. There's no leadership abilities in planning leisure activities. I told you that a couple weeks ago. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The number one purpose of leadership is galvanizing a group of people under the banner of one vision, purpose, and calling, and getting them to move in that direction in the most efficient way possible. You know what I'm talking about? And to motivate, instruct, and guide so these people are successful in what it is that they're working towards. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Great leaders will get their ego out of the way because they're more concerned with those who are up under them being successful. Because if those people are successful, then the vision that he has, it will be success. It's a twofold thing. Like I know somebody who run a business. He wants his people to be so successful. He don't necessarily want them to lead a company, but he wants them to be successful enough in fulfilling his vision that they could and flourish if they went to go do something else, even if it was on their own. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that come into that. I keep telling y'all that most people just think it's about the information. That means you're not a people person. Because I'm going to be honest with you, just like real estate, just like sales, the word of the everlasting Elohim, Yahuwah of hosts, this is a people business. Like you're literally interacting with people. This is a people's business. You know what I'm saying? If you do not know how to interact with people, you will not be successful in this endeavor. And success does not mean that you saved 100 people out of 145. You know what I'm talking about? It's having the ability to impart the information, the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding of the living God and cultivate that in a fashion to where this person can bear forth fruit under everlasting life. You know what I'm saying? That's the objective. And most people are not good at that because you don't really like people. You like the people that you want to like. Do you have the ability to mix and mesh with people who under certain circumstances you may not conversate with, you may not hang with? See, leaders have to be able to adapt to a multitude of different personality types. People who come from a multitude of different backgrounds. If you can only deal with people from a certain background, you're not fit to be a leader. Knowing something doesn't make you a leader. There's a lot of knowledgeable people on the earth who are not leadership material. But when it comes to this word, people think however many precepts you know, that means that you should be able to guide and lead people, but you don't actually like people. You know what I'm saying? Man, you can't be in this business, man, and you don't like people, bro. How that's going to work? See, being introverted does not mean you don't like people. Being extroverted don't mean you do like people. You know what I'm talking about? I don't necessarily mean that. But in this business, and I say it is a business because business, of course, you know, that's an occupation. This vocation, this is a people's business. This is a people's business. The word of Yahuwah is a people's business. And if you don't like people, if you don't know how to talk to people, if you don't know how to communicate to people, if you don't know how to motivate people, if you don't know how to encourage people, if you don't know how to comfort people, you are not supposed to be opening your mouth talking about this man. Just occupy till he comes. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up now. He said, I'm looking to get better with fitness system, the personnel I manage. He said, I never looked to translate that to the restaurant business. Yeah, and sometimes with that, you know, every business is not the same because, you know, like say culinary, that's cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? That'll more come so on the motivation and an encouragement part of people under you. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know restaurant business can be stressful. You know what I'm saying? So if you over a group of people and you got to see that, you got to know when to pick them up. You know what I'm saying? If you would. You know what I'm saying? You have to know when to encourage, when to acknowledge, when to validate. All these type of things come into all of that because the objective is what we're after. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people's problem is you feel like I shouldn't have. Do you want the objective to be obtained? Because all I care about is the objective. The objective is the only thing that matters. You know what I'm saying? The objective is soul saving. So that's the only thing that matters. So if you need to do 1, 2, and 3 in order to pull that off, then that's what you do. Because the objective is what matters. See, people want it done how they want it to be done. You ain't fit for the job, blood. Why is you? Go do something else. Go do something else. Not a misanthropic hermit with a Bible. That is wild. That's right, Brother Hermit. You got to just carry each other. Like I say, man, I ain't tell you, right? I told you this before. Just because a man has penis and testicles don't make him a leader. And just because you can say somebody can't lead don't mean you a good follower. Because a lot of people who say people can't lead, they're a piss poor follower. You know what I'm talking about? They really just disciplinary problems who don't have any desires to take hold to the vision to bring it to pass. To be 100% honest with you. But James 3:17.
But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle.
Make it 15, bro.
Mm-hmm. This wisdom descend not from above, but earthly.
We gotta back it up there. Give me 13. James 3:13.
Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness.
Conversation is conduct. He said with what? Meekness of what?
Of wisdom. That
skill that you possess, should be humility attached to that ability. Go ahead.
But if you have bitter envying and strife in your heart,
you got contention in your heart. He said, don't esteem in this man. Why?
And lie not against the truth.
Because when you do that, you lying against him because that's not his character.
This wisdom descend not from above.
That don't come from God. That come from the flesh.
Sensual, devilish.
That come from the slanderer.
For where envying and strife, there's confusion in every evil work.
Tell him what confusion means. He said what envy and what contention is, right? He said there's every evil work. And what else? What's the word I just asked for? I'm sorry. Confusion. Now, Shalom. Now, you know in 1 Corinthians 14, they tell you confusion is disorder. Mm-hmm. The same thing? Mm-hmm. See, when I look at this here, right?
You got instability, a state of disorder.
Instability, a state of disorder. When you did it, see, you got to understand what disorder means, what instability means. You know what I'm saying? When you have a state of disorder, that means there's no structure. You know what I'm saying? And that's all chaos means. There is no structure. You don't have any structure. You can't function I don't know about y'all. Most people function in chaotic environments because that's what you was raised in. So you're comfortable in that. People who do not come from disorderly environments cannot function in an environment of chaos. That they can't do it. They won't do it. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about chaos, meaning when there's no structure, you do what you want. Remember what it said in Judges? There was no king in those days, so the people did what was right in their own eyes. That is disorder. Disorder is, he said, make it like this, but I'm going to do it like that. You can't do what you want to do. So you know the problem is, you used to people who've been your leader who let you take shortcuts, who let you cut corners. You know what I'm saying? So then when you come to Yahuwah, you can't cut corners with him. Remember when David was upset because they couldn't get the Ark of the Covenant to his house? Because he said we didn't do it after the due order. In that instance, order was mishpat. We didn't do it according to the judgment. That's why he told Moses what? Make it according to what? The pattern I showed you in the mount. Don't do it how you want to do it. Don't do it how you think you should do it. Do it like I told you to do it. If you don't do it like I told you to do it, I'm not going to accept it. That's what happened to Cain. A lot of people don't realize that. Well, you can't do what you want to do and think this man gonna take it because you had good intentions. He's not gonna take it. It has to be done explicitly, like he said to do it. And if not, if you do well, shall you not be accepted? If not, sin lie at the door. He say, hey, didn't we just read that? It ain't seemly for a servant to rule over a prince. Why you letting sin rule over you? Why you let the devil rule over you? What's wrong with you? That's not comforting. That's not pleasurable. You know what I'm saying? For sure. You got to do it how you say to do it. That's why you see all the stuff that we see with most bruised, bro, because that junk is carnal, what niggas got going on. So when you got all that carnality, you're going to have disorder and instability. Remember what we talked about Wednesday? Where your stability at? Get it for us, Sylvie. Matthew 7:20. We good at James. I don't need no. Then we'll come back to 2 Timothy 1:3. Finish 1 John 4:17. And get back to the root of the matter. Because, you know, the other day, you know what he said? I wasn't on that. He said, but today I got time, cuz. You know what I'm told me, drop my flag. Man, I looked that up, man. Buddy dead, too. Say Buddy died about 3 years ago, man. Found Buddy dead in front of a tire shop. He said the boy was homeless from 15 to 22. That's what his mama said. Well, damn, why he wasn't living with you? What was he doing? I mean, he had a great heart. Gave his shoes to a guy right off his feet because he needed a man. Why was your son on the street? 7 years. For 7 years, bro. She's talking about how gangster am I? He said, you can drop your kid off me and you can run me my fade. Come on, man. Yeah, Buddy died 3 years, 4 years. It's going to be 4 years.
If people saying he got hurt.
He did.
For running his mouth.
I don't know for that, but they found him dead early in the morning from the tire shop. Go ahead.
Say, wherefore by the fruits you shall know them. Not everyone that say unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of Shamayim. But he that do the will of my Abba, which is in Shamayim.
Listen.
Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? And in your name have cast out devils? And in your name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
Depart from me.
You that work iniquity.
Go ahead.
Therefore, whosoever hear these sayings of mine and do them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock.
Built his house on a what?
On a rock.
On a what?
On a rock.
And what happened?
And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not. For it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that hear these sayings of mine and do them not.
I liken him to a man who did what?
Built his house upon the sand.
Damn.
And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
Deuteronomy 32:1 on general prayer. Now we read that because the reason why we have a lot of instability because you're not building your house on the Son of God. We ended with that Wednesday, right? That Mount Zion, which can't be moved. Most people get moved and swayed because your house was built on sand. You know what your house was built on? Keep the commandments and you were Israelite. But that's not what he told you to build your house on. You know what I'm saying? I know people don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I know people be like, no, that don't mean you ain't supposed to keep the commandments. I said you ain't supposed to build your house on that. That's right. He is the chief cornerstone. You know what I'm saying? Of the house, you know, the house of God. But I'm also talking about your tabernacle. As we could read like in Job 11. You know what I'm saying? Because when he the chief cornerstone is forth is the foundation of the house of God. And then remember when he told Peter, upon this rock I'll build my house. And then, you know, Peter also mentioned that we're lively stones to make up a spiritual house. That's separate. When you take Job 11, he say, don't let sin be in your tabernacle. Now you looking at your body, you building it upon a rock. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're finna read Deuteronomy 32, because Yahuwah is that rock. But that don't mean you ain't supposed to keep the commandment. I mean, that's not what you're supposed to build your house on. But a lot of people don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not what you build your house on. How you going to build your house on keep the Sabbath, don't eat swine? Don't be a homosexual. Don't have sex with your wife on her cycle. Don't run after a multitude to do evil. What you building that on? You know, a dude got mad with me a couple weeks back when I told him, man, that man ain't never promised nobody no law. Show me one person who Yahuwah promised a law to. He never promised anybody that. Because the law is not a promise, it's a directive of what to do and what not to do. As Paul put it, it's the knowledge of sin. That by definition ain't no promise. A promise has hope of a reward you can't see based off what the person who promised has said to you. That's why when people tell you faith without works is dead, they mention the law or they mention you doing something to achieve an objective that you want. They don't know God. Because faith is dealing with the promises of God. Not you believing that you can become a millionaire in the business. That ain't got nothing to do. That's your stuff. That don't bring no esteem to him because you make a couple $1 million in the business. That ain't got nothing to do with him. That's your stuff. See, faith without works is this. See, if you believe, you'll keep the commandment. No, that's not what that means. And it literally tells you that in that epistle letter that that's not what that means. That means I promised you something and you moved according to what you heard me say. He didn't say nothing to your forefathers about no animal sacrifices. He didn't say nothing to them about no laws. That's not what he promised. When he ran up on Abraham, he didn't say, believe in me and I'll give you some law, statutes, and commandments. He said, hey man, depart from among your kinfolk and your kindred and go to the place which you'll choose and I'll make you a great nation. That's not what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. He said, and the fact he told Adam not to touch it straight up, messed around and found out. That's right, because if you get your faith tested, you're not going to have nothing to stand on. You can't stand on, I don't eat no shrimp. That's a bottom feeder. Arguing, man, I seen brother going back and forth. Is it lawful to eat mushrooms? Because they don't got no seed. It's spore. This is the stuff you're wasting your time on. Meanwhile, it's a nigga going through it, and you talking about some goddamn mushrooms. How many wives you can have? Why is it 2025 and niggas still talking about that? God damn it, nigga, if you want 7 wives, then go get them. We don't want to hear that no more. You know why people keep talking about this stuff, man? Because y'all keep listening. You know what I'm talking about? To be 100% honest with you. Not to get a nasty underbelly. Come on with it, blood.
Say, give ear, O you Shamahims, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew.
As the dew, baby.
As the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of Yahuwah.
You do what?
Publish the name of Yahuwah.
You do what?
Publish the name of Yahuwah.
Tell them what publish means, just in case they don't know. That's the problem. We're not publishing the name of Yahuwah. Nobody's declaring merciful and gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, showing mercy unto thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression. Nobody's publishing that.
That's Quran to call out, to recite.
To recite. You ain't calling out that man name. You think calling out the man name is just saying Yahuwah. To proclaim the literal thing that it says in Exodus 34, to proclaim his name is to show that. Anybody can say Yahuwah out their mouth. Anybody can do that. What you say, dear? I told the room today, I can't hear no junk. Niggas was in there talking about reincarnation. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Nigga be wondering like, hey man, if I'm gonna be on here, man, I'll be in Grand Rising. I'll sit in the room with Mama Steph, or I sit here in these rooms and listen to these niggas argue about the same thing every day. I don't want to hear that. I don't care who believe who a Gentile and who's not. I don't care. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear nothing about no Godhead, bro. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? If you niggas stop listening, they'll stop talking about it. Go ahead, man.
He said, because I will publish the name of Yahuwah, ascribe you greatness unto our Elohim.
Ascribe what?
Greatness.
Tell them what greatness is, man. That's the problem. We ain't doing none of that.
Let's go down. Greatness, magnitude,
Gadol.
magnificence, pride.
Man, proclaim the magnificence of your God, man. What's more magnificent than the fact that when you without strength, Hamashiach died for the ungodly? Man, Judah, I ain't got time for that junk you on. You ain't got to listen, bro. You can slide. We working right now. They ain't listening to me. They listening to Yahuwah. That's who they ought to listen to. They ain't here for me. They here for the word. You want some different type of time? They go to dope. This might not be the trap house for you, boy. We pushing our work right now. Straight drop, 28 in the fall. You know what I'm talking about? Make your toes tingle. You did? Come on with it.
And he is the rock. His word.
He's perfect. The what?
The rock.
He's the what?
The rock.
I ain't the authority. Yahuwah the authority. He's the what?
The rock.
He's the what?
The rock.
And his work is what?
Perfect.
My God, today.
For all his ways, judgment. Elohim of truth, and without iniquity. Just and right is he.
Just and right is he. This is what happened when you build your house on the rock, because his work is perfect. He's just and he's right. Build your house on that. You'll never fall. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back to 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 3.
I thank Elohim, whom I serve from my forefathers with pure conscience, that without ceasing I have remembrance of you in my prayers night and day.
Night and day.
Greatly desiring to see you, being mindful of your tears, that I may be filled with joy.
Come on.
When I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in you, which dwelt first in your grandmother Lois, and your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded that in you also. Wherefore I put you in remembrance, that you stir up the gift of Elohim, which is in you by the putting on of my hands. For Elohim have not given us the ruach of fear.
He ain't given us the ruach of fear.
But of power.
Of what?
Of power.
And what else?
Of love.
Of what else?
And of a sound mind.
And of a what mind?
A sound mind.
Tell them what sound mind mean, man. He gave you power, a sound mind, and health, man. That fear that don't come from him. That anxiety that don't come from him. So we looking to remove that out of our inward man so that we can be strong in Yahuwah. You understand what I'm telling you? Go ahead with it, man.
So for Nismos, that's an admonishing or calling to soundness of mind, to moderation and self-control.
Self-control.
Moderation or sound mind. Discipline.
Discipline. Self-control and discipline. You see how they go back to what we was reading in Hebrews chapter 12? What was the other thing? Sound mind, power, what it was?
And love.
And love. To have discipline, self-control, the power that comes from God, and love. You know what I'm saying? Come on back to 1 John, 4:17. And then we'll go back to where we was before.
Herein is our love made perfect.
Our love is made what?
Perfect.
Why?
That we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
What else?
Because as he is, so are we in this world. There's no fear in love.
There's no fear in love.
But perfect love casts out fear.
Perfect love casts out fear. Because why?
Fear hath torment.
He that have
fear is not made perfect in love.
Go ahead.
We love him because he first loved us. If a man say, I love Elohim and hate his brother, he is a liar.
He's a liar.
For he that love not his brother whom we have seen, how can he love Elohim
whom he have not seen?
And this commandment have we from him, that he who love Elohim love his brother also.
Love his brother also. And you learn that from Cain and Abel. Because Cain ain't love his brother. You know what I'm talking about? And he that don't love his brother is a murderer, and eternal life ain't abiding in him. But see, we really focus on the aspect of, come on back to Proverbs 19. Shalom, Sister Kelly. And that's anxiety is not, we want to get rid of that. Remember, he said you'll be careful. You will not be careful in drought when you trust in Yahuwah, whose hope Yahuwah is. You know what I'm saying? So we have to make sure our mind is stayed on. And I'm mentioning this here because the book said that Yahushua was exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. This is what he said. And then he immediately went and prayed. Why? Because his mind is stayed on him. This is why he kept him in perfect peace, for him to have that strength to be able to accomplish that which was written of him. You know what I'm saying? Because even when you be exceedingly sorrowful under death, man, there's a moment of anxiety. You know what I'm talking about? It's a moment of work. I'm mentioning this here because you literally see him have a moment. See, having a moment of that does not mean that you're just some faithless, horrible person. Remember what we concluded with on Wednesday. When you're finishing Philippians, you got to think of those things which are pure. Think of those things which are just. Think of those things which are honest. You have to think on God. Taking us back to Isaiah 26:3 again. He keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Trust in Yahuwah forever. Trust in Yahuwah is everlasting strength. Remember, just because you have the member, he said, you have to the casting down the strongholds and bringing every thought into the captivity of Mashiach. Just because you have that moment does not mean that you're a terrible person. We're talking about when you live in a constant state of anxiety, a constant state of worry, a constant state of fear. That is what we're seeking to eliminate. Yeah, you're gonna be back. You're a man of subject to like passions as anybody else. Life can hit you and you can have a moment. Hell, you might have a day or two. You know what I'm talking about? We're talking about a constant state. Dang, somebody done got killed. 7-year-old boy done got killed over here, man. My God, today. Yeah, I did tell you that, man. They locked up some 16-year-old boy, man. He killed somebody over there by Forest, man. In somebody's house 7:30 in the morning trying to rob him. Well, why is you at somebody's house at 7:30 in the morning trying to steal? Now you done stole your life away because them white folks finna hide you, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Because remember, we're dealing with this man suffering. And we're about to get to his suffering, but we started Wednesday talking about his commitment. Remember, he said, Abba, into your hand I commit my ruach. He trusted this man with his soul. So even before you could get to be able to humble yourself under this man's hand, you have to trust him. You have to believe in him. Always delightful. Come on. Where we at with?
Proverbs 19 and 10.
That's what we was in. Yeah. 10. Come on. I need to crank it up a notch. We got Hebrews 12, by the way.
Say, delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes.
So you see how that role, what we talking about, it's not delight for a servant to be ruling over you, man. Don't let your flesh rule over you. Don't let Satan rule over you. Don't let that have dominion over you. The man told you, if the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. This man done already broke the chain. The man done handed you the key. Now, PTSD, that's a whole nother conversation. Because PTSD is not necessarily rooted in fear. PTSD is rooted in a traumatic experience, which has altered the way that your brain operates. You know what I'm saying? So that just come through the time period that it takes to work through that trauma. There's not an amount of time that you can put on that per se. You know what I'm saying? Because that's different. That's not dealing with just having anxiety or worry. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you though. I think most black folks, depending on where they come from in their environments, are dealing with some type of form of PTSD if they lived in a violent environment. I know anybody who's been in a war zone probably has some manner of PTSD. I'd put money on it. You know what I'm saying? You can't see people get killed and that don't have an effect on your mind. You know what I'm saying? To think anything, because that's not normal. Mama Steph, I don't know if you've seen that video for that channel that I sent you, because we was watching a channel about this dude named Jay Wisdom, but what he deals with is the dark psychology of individuals, whether movie characters, television characters, or real people. You know what I'm saying? So which ones did we look at last night? One about Drake, one about Puffy, and one about the uncle from Snowfall. You know what I'm saying? And then one was about King Von. You know what I'm talking about? Now, and he's dealing with the actual psychiatric, you know what I'm saying, clinical definitions for certain things. You know what I'm talking about? And we looked at one with James Bond. You know what I'm saying? But the one with Vaughn, they were talking about, you would look at him, he was desensitized from homicide because he seen somebody when he was like 14, 15 years old get his brains knocked out. You know what I'm saying? And it led to emotional numbness. To when it came like Vaughn was known for mocking his adversaries when they died, but he had killed somebody, but he wasn't a gang member. He never said or posted or mocked anything about that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not a part of what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? He had a detachment. You know what I'm saying? For people from the outside looking in, you'll be like, oh, this man is this, that, there, and the third. But when you look at the breeding ground, I already know, Mama Steph. She said that numbness can be scared of. It definitely can, because, and as Vaughn was scared of people, because if you're not from his environment, you're not going to understand why his mind is the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like, these niggas killing for nothing. But he's in an environment that if you don't get down with these people, you're going to be fooled. Most of us ain't never lived in an environment to understand what that's like. Most of us didn't grow up and you buried 15, 20 friends before you turned 18. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like these kids just want to be out here shooting guns and this, that, there, and the third. That is their life based off the environment that they live in. When they're born, this is where they're at, and this is what you have to do to survive. You know what I'm saying? If not, you might not make it. You know what I'm saying? It's real easy that when you see his thought process of how he moved, he ain't got no feelings when it comes to this. Is it because he evil? Possibly. Highly likely. But it also coming in, I see this person as my enemy. Guess who also can be like that? A soldier. A soldier can go over into a war zone and take out, whether it was Vietnam, he could take out a multitude of Viet Cong. He could have went to Iraq and took out a multitude of Iraqi soldiers. Sloan says, Virginia. He could have went to Afghanistan and took out a whole manner of Afghanis and had no feeling, thoughts, cares, or concerns with killing these people because he is already emotionally numb to this. You have to understand something. Regardless if people want to do it, whether you're a soldier, whether you're a police officer, whether you're a regular person on the street, continual taking of life is not normal. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a certain mental makeup to be able to be a warrior in this capacity. Now I'm more so talking about like in an army. You know what I'm saying? Like David had to have a certain mindset to be a warrior. But you taking life, bro. For whatever reason, you taking life. Man, I can remember being as a jit. We used to talk about this all the time. Man, it's real good to tech hawk all that tough talk until you see a man's soul leave his body and you're responsible for it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do that, man. I told him, man, the big homie told us straight up and down, man, if you kill a man and you feel something about it, he said, you a whole nigga. He said, if you kill a man and you don't feel nothing, he deserved to die. What he was meaning was, if you kill somebody and you felt bad about it, that means that man didn't commit a violation that was worthy of death. Why did you do that to this person? You know what I'm saying? If you didn't feel nothing, that means this man did something and that should be the penalty for it. He was telling you that for you to weigh out because taking life that's not something you go into haphazardly. Everybody like to talk that tough talk because you live in America, this, that, there, and the third. Man, I would say, man, 97% of people ain't got the heart to take nobody's life, man. And I ain't talking about doing it from a distance either. I'm talking about looking at this person and knowing that you're responsible as they soul leave a body and knowing you did that. No, man, everybody can't do that, man. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do, man, till you got to do that. You talking about taking life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Damn, man, that junk ain't life. And it's not like to see somebody's life get taken, especially somebody's life who you cared about. And you think that's not going to do something to your mind? Yeah, man, you crazy if you don't think that's not going to do nothing. It's going to do something to your mental state. You're not going to be the same after that. Could you return to what you were before that? Maybe. In my personal opinion, highly unlikely. You know what I'm saying? It's going to change you forever. So when you come to dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, change is inevitable, but that's not the type of change you want. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's not the change you want. Say most niggas that's willing to take a life, willing to lose theirs. That's a fact. That's a fact. Most people who are willing to take a life are definitely ready to lose theirs and take the consequences that come with that. Yeah, definitely change is inevitable, Brother Herman, without a question. But that's not a change you want, because that alters you in a way that, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of people in those type of situations, man, they just mentally disassociate. You know what I'm saying? That's what most people in this country do. They disassociate. You know what I'm saying? What's the other word, man? They repress. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people repress memories or they mentally disassociate. You know what I'm saying? To not, that one too, in compartment. They do all of these things in order to not think or feel the things that they have seen and or experienced directly or have done, depending on what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, I'm talking about it's repression. Most people, like a lot of people who've been sexually abused, they repress it. You know what I'm saying? They bury that memory. And there's certain things that can trigger that memory and bring it up. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of people definitely disassociate. That's how that's what these people do to people to put them under mind control. You know what I'm saying? To have them disassociate with the level of torture that they take people through. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, PTSD is a whole different matter. When you're dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, that is correct. And I have read that before. Natural reaction to trauma, the brain's way of protecting itself is fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? Because literally, trauma literally means something that alters the mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's for if you talk about mental trauma anyway. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when it comes to post-traumatic stress disorder, that's not necessarily, you know, operating in fear. That's more so that there was a particular event. You have to make sure that who you talking to about that is skillful enough, compassionate enough, and caring enough to help you walk through that to where that if you would permit, that traumatic event would no longer be a stressor mentally or emotionally for that individual. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not a light matter. Average person don't understand it, don't know how to deal with it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you shouldn't be upset that most people don't know how to handle, because that's not a general occurrence. You know what I'm saying? For people to know how to deal with that. And I'm saying that because as people, we make the mistake thinking that everybody should have the ability to know how to deal with and handle everything just because they're your friends or family. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody is your friend does not mean that they have the capabilities, the coping skills, the wisdom and understanding to deal with such things. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and I say this here. I know it's in theory, it sounds great that your husband should be able to do X, Y, Z, but that don't mean that man have the requisite skills to deal with traumatic events that may have happened to you. You know what I'm saying? To help you navigate that. That don't mean your old lady got the ability to do that. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't know how to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be honest with you. Man, I can remember being a teenager, man, and a couple girls I went to school with, they went to talking, you know what I'm saying, about the sexual assaults that they experienced in their life. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I don't know what to tell this girl, man. What can you say to this? And this wasn't even on some old, I don't know how to handle this. Like, how do you, I'm a child. You know what I'm saying? You just dropped some heavy stuff in my lap. So the only thing I can think of, man, just give them some comfort and just listen. You know what I'm talking about? Because if you was looking for some type of counsel in return, baby, I ain't got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't no rule stuff. What do you say to somebody who say, hey, man, somebody did this to me? We're both children. Let's not get this twisted. I may have been, you may have been teenagers. We're children. Like, come on, man. Now imagine being 35. You think just because 19 years don't went past, somebody know how to deal with that? People get trained to know how to deal with people who deal with that. Because most people are not going to be able to deal with the ebbs and flows of a person's emotions that may come out in the course of that type of conversation. That's what I'm talking about, not knowing how to deal with. Because the individual who had that, they're going to be emotional. And understandably so. You would have to know that. You would have to know somebody say, yeah, man, I seen my daddy get killed. You would have to know there's a multitude of emotions that going to come out of them as they're telling you the story. Most people don't know how to deal with them type of emotions, man. You get mad at this person because they emotional about something that happened to you. Do you know that's how many people say that's why they don't talk to nobody, because they went to talk to somebody and the nigga got mad with them because they were being emotional about a traumatic event? That's why a lot of people don't talk to nobody. Because they thought, well, that's my friend. I thought he could help me. In theory, I could see why you would think that. In reality, this nigga just graduated high school. That's all he's ever done. He's never shown you in his entire time of you knowing him that he had this level of ability to handle this type of information. And that doesn't mean he's an idiot. It just means he can't handle that. That's a lot. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take that in mind. Some people can deal with that type of stuff. Some people can't. But we all can do one thing, and that's be compassionate. That you can do. You ain't got to have no skill, no ability to be compassionate. That's just having a care and concern for other people. You know what I'm saying? Now that you can do. You might can't get no answers. You know what I'm talking about? But you could at least be compassionate. And that's why we read what we read in Isaiah 62. You know what I'm saying? Pour out your heart to him and trust in him at all times. He's a refuge for us. You know what I'm saying? Because what man can't do, Yahuwah can take up the rest. You did? He said memory plays back the same way. Point like the person just talking beside. Yeah, because when they telling you that it's playing. Man, I remember we was watching something with T.O. was talking about his childhood with his daddy. And you could literally see him go back to being that 7-year-old child. I could see it. You know what I'm saying? I seen this grown man go back because that's where the term arrested development come from. People have certain traumatic events in their childhood and their development is stopped. At least that's why nobody talks about it, even though maybe the person just wants you to know so you can know why they react. Absolutely. Absolutely. And see, and there's nothing wrong with telling people, hey, this happened to me. This is why I operate like, because most people don't understand. And like she said, that's why most people don't talk about it, because everybody want to think about, well, this is what I would do. Nigga, you wouldn't know it didn't happen to you. I hate when people do that. Don't talk about what you think somebody should do in a traumatic life experience that you didn't experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was sad. Omar. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool, man. All you got to do is just listen, man. People hurting out here in real life. You know what I'm talking about? It's people who done had a lot of negative experiences in life, and they don't have nobody to talk to about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, got to keep that in mind. Where we at with it, blood?
Proverbs 19.
We in verse what? 12? Come with.
Verse 11.
Yeah, verse 11. Go ahead.
Say the discretion of a man defer his anger.
And it's the glory.
To pass over a transgression.
Tell them what discretion is, man.
Sakel, prudence, insight, understanding, good sense.
Man, what is this nigga talking about? Man, go on head on with that, John Blood. Well, I'll be a big part of that, cuz. You know what I'm saying? We ain't killing souls, we killing the flesh. You know what I'm talking about? So you can go ahead and skedaddle. What's another good word? Depart. Arrivederci. Sayonara. You know what I'm saying? Things of that sort. You dig? Come on, I don't have any energy for his father.
Say the king's wrath as the roaring of a lion, but his favor as dew upon the grass.
Yes, now you remember what we were reading about the dew on the grass? What we were reading the other day? We read that other night. I think it was in Ecclesiastes. Notice that he says favors as the dew upon the grass. And and that's pertaining to that ruach. You dig? Not vamoose. Come on with it.
A foolish son, the calamity of his father. The contentions of a wife, a continual dropping.
House and riches.
The inheritance of fathers.
And a prudent wife.
From Yahuwah.
Slothfulness.
Cast into a deep sleep. And an idle soul shall suffer hunger.
You look at that doggone slothfulness, man. A lot of people lazy in the faith. Boy, you going to die, boy. You ain't going to get no bread. Boy, you going to go to hell. You know what I'm talking about? But that's another conversation. Come on with it.
He that could keep the commandment, keep his own soul. He that despises his ways shall die.
He that have
pity upon the poor.
Lend unto who?
Yahuwah.
That's why in Matthew 25, when he said, if you did this to the least of these, my brethren, you did it unto me. You know what I'm talking about? Nevertheless.
And that which he hath given, will he pay him again?
Chasten.
Your son while there is
This
hope.
Is what we came here for. Chasten.
Your son while there is hope.
And spare not.
His soul for his crime.
Remember, right? When he said, my Elohim, why have you forsaken me, right? Now go back to Hebrews 12. This is what we came here for. Chasten your son while there is hope. Spare not for his crime. When you're dealing with the affliction. Because he chastened his son, he was chastised for your iniquities. And while he was chastening his son, he didn't stop for his crime. He cried out. He continued the chastening. Go ahead, man. This nigga always coming. Man, nobody we ain't talking about no commandments, man. Man, everybody know to do that, blood. Everybody know to do that, man. Man, we ain't in here talking about don't eat no pork chops, nigga. We've been in this game too long to be talking about that. That's simplistic stuff. We ain't got to talk about keeping no Sabbath, man. You either keep it or you don't. I don't focus on people who don't. I focus on the people who do. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got time for that. I know it. You don't keep the Sabbath anyway. You think because you show up on Saturday, you keep the Sabbath, but you do your own will every day of the week. You might as well had not did nothing. That's what you nigga problem is. Well, you're not just before God because you don't eat shrimp, nigga, and you wicked as hell. You're unfaithful. You know what I'm talking about? You're disobedient. You're rebellious. You don't trust nothing the man say. You don't hope in not now single solitary promise. But I'm just because I don't eat no pork chop. But you're malicious and you're spiteful and you're contentious. You lack any level of compassion, mercy, or care. Nigga don't care nothing because you could throw some precepts at somebody, boy. Sit your goofy behind down somewhere, man. Go ahead on, man. This nigga gonna make me go off on him, man. In a professional fashion, too. Because that's how I'm feeling. Go ahead, man. Pick it up at verse 5 again. I'll get to Leviticus 23.
You have forgotten the exhortation which speak unto you as unto children. My son, despise not you the chastening of the Lord.
Despise not what?
The chastening of the Lord.
And that's why he told Peter, he said, man, how else would the scripture be fulfilled? Man, I could call for 12 legions of Malachim, baby. But I don't despise the chastening. Because for whom Yahuwah love, he what? Chasten. Then he say, blessed are those whom he chasten out of his law. He chastened a man straight with the word. Yeah, he say, if you spare the rod, you can deliver his soul from hell. So in this instance, let me get that for you. Stay where you're at, Sid. Since we talking about that, and we talking about this man afflictions as it pertains to atonement, because that's for Mother Sharona right there. Because I told her we would do that. That's not it. Here we go. Come on, y'all, to Proverbs 23 and 13. And then we can get Proverbs 22 and 15 on top of it. But Proverbs 23 and 13, I make it 12. Apply your heart unto instruction and your ears to the words of knowledge. Of course, instruction is musar. That is the literal word for chastening, correction, discipline. And discipline is instruction. The ability to have discipline and self-control, you have to be instructed in that first. You know what I'm saying? So he letting you know that you should imply your leb, your inward man should be applied or bow. You should come in, you should enter, you should carry in, you should be introduced, your inward man, to wisdom. To instruction, to discipline. And that's what most people, that's what we were talking about, the instability and the disorder. That's why most people don't have it, because they undisciplined. An undisciplined man is a worthless man. I'm just going to go ahead and just put that on the table and let that be known. An undisciplined man is a worthless man. He has no value, benefit to anyone, because he can't even keep himself in line with what it is that he has purposed himself to do. So a man who has no discipline in the service of Yahuwah, what value is he to anyone else? He ain't a value to himself. Now, one thing I can say, praise be to Yahuwah for my mama, my daddy, my granddaddy, my auntie. Well, they bang discipline in my brain. Most people don't have that. That's why they can sin so easily. You know what I'm saying? That's why they can get distracted from what it is they want to say they want to do so easily, because they don't have the self-control and commitment that comes from discipline. You know what I'm talking about? This is why you see that one of the fruits of the Ruach is self-control, which is discipline. That's why I say, he that suffer in the flesh cease from sin. Arm yourself likewise with the same mind. The same way Mashiach suffered in the flesh, you suffer in the flesh. You can stop sinning. That's self-control. That's discipline. That's why I say everybody want to talk about not eating shrimps and crabs, because that's easy discipline. But can you discipline yourself to execute in proper judgment? Can you discipline yourself to not run after false matter? Can you discipline yourself to not give judgment till you have the whole of the matter versus judging according to appearance? Can you discipline your penis? Can you discipline your mouth? Can you discipline your words? Can you discipline your conduct and interactions with other people? See, when it comes to that, most people can't do that because they too carnal, they too selfish, and they too proud and egotistical, a sanctimonious douchebag. But in their mind, they just before God. My God, today. You know what I'm saying? That's the mass majority of individuals walking around here. Yeah, man. And James told you about that. If you can bridle your tongue, you can have control over your whole body. He said a man who can't know how to shut his mouth, his religion is vain. It's worthless. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, man, all of this way around the board, a man with no discipline is worthless. Because the minute that pleasure come in, he'll put to side what he's supposed to do. You'll neglect your purpose for a small moment of pleasure. For a little bit of feel good. Man, that junk ain't worth all that, man. Stick to the mission, my nigga. The mission got to be greater than pleasure. See, when the mission is greater than pleasure, it's because you trust in the promise that comes from the mission. That's why you took a part of the mission, because you understood what the goal was if you accomplished the mission. That's what niggas' problem is, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm be honest with you, like this goofy nigga right here, you know why a lot of us can't get right? Because the men who's supposed to be elder than us, they not men. See what this nigga doing? That's not what men do. He just posting random scriptures. He got to sit down with a young kid who ain't got no direction, no guidance, no wisdom. He ain't going to give it to him. He going to slap him with some precepts, and Jit going to walk away as dumb as he was when he met him. Because Jit ain't looking for the verses you throwing at him. He looking, do you embody what you say you believe? Do you embody these verses you throwing at me? When I see you, do I see that in word, deed, and truth? That's what the book say. But we don't do that. That's why these young Jits don't listen to these niggas, man. That's why we don't respect these old niggas, because they stupid. They goofy. They don't care about us. They look down on us and then want to talk about us when we do stuff out of pocket. Look at it. He throwing stuff. Oh, false prophet, have a dream. We ain't talking about no dream. We talking about real stuff. Wicked man. You think because you throwing precepts out there, that mean God with you? Man, we not that stupid, man. We up on game, bro. We can see from your character. Or I can concentrate, baby. I can chew bubble gum and walk at the same time, oh nigga. I don't know who you think you talking to or who you dealing with. I'll bust you upside the head and edify my people at the same time. Based off your conduct, we use you as what they would like to say, a case study. Because when you go outside in the real world, ain't nobody going to listen to you. It's real easy to be on the internet and throw verses at people, but can you go outside and deal with people in real life and be able to speak a word in due season to a weary soul? Can you do that? Can you do that? Exactly. Nah, they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And you know why they can't do that? Because they don't care about us. They don't care about us. They don't care about your soul. They don't care about your troubles. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your struggles. They don't care about your tribulation. They don't care about none of that. And that's why I said that earlier, man. This is a people business. Yahuwah care about the people. That's why I say Elohim so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that not a single soul should perish, because he care about the people. Just because a nigga got Bible in his hand and can throw verses at you don't mean he care about your soul, man. And y'all got to be wise enough to be able to peep that out, because 99.9% of these niggas who call themselves teachers of God don't give a damn about us. They not going to come suffer with you. They're not going to come be sorrowful with you. They're not going to come do none of that. All these whole niggas want to do is condemn you. What type of pussy nigga walk around looking for sin, accusing somebody? That's what the devil do. We not ignorant of his devices. We know that pussy nigga when we see him. And right now I smell pussy, and his name is Jacob Ward. I smell it, and it stank too. He ain't wash it. Come on with it, blood. Smell like fish. That boy got a venereal disease. I got time today. I told you I'm in a good mood. Don't think I'm upset. I'm in a good mood. I got time today. Nigga sent for me and I ain't sent for him. I'm here now. You get what you're looking for. Come on. Where we at with it, blood?
Verse 6, Hebrews 12.
Come on, Hebrews 12 and says, come on, run it.
If whom the Lord loves, he chastens.
That's right.
Scourge every son whom he receives. If you endure chastening, I'll let him deal with you as with sons.
As with a son.
For what son is he whom the Father chastened not? But if you be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are you bastards and not sons.
Bastards and not sons.
Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected, and we gave reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Abba of Ruachs and live? For they truly for a few days chastened after their own pleasure, but he for profit, that we might be partakers of his Kadash.
Hey, that boy St. Jacob is a bookworm who produced wormwood. hey, Judah Priest, that was funny right there, blood. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, but listen, right? You see what this chastening come into? Now let's come over here to Leviticus 23. I got you, blood. I got you. But you can get me Leviticus 25. We get to the root of the matter, what we're here for. This might be another 3-4 hours. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm just letting y'all know that ahead of time. That's how I'm feeling right now. Leviticus 23 and 27, or 26. Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th of the 7th month, a day of atonement. It shall be a Kadash convocation unto you. You shall afflict your souls, an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. You shall do no work in that same day, for it is the day of atonement to make an atonement for you before Yahuwah your Elohim. Whatsoever soul shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that do any work in the same day, the same soul I will destroy from among his people. You shall do no manner of work. It's a statute throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be a Shabbat of rest. You shall afflict your souls the 9th day of the month at even. From even to even shall you keep your Shabbat. Now, we focusing on that because of the affliction part. Because of the affliction part. The humbling. That's what the chastening is supposed to do. The humbling. So when you look at Mashiach with the suffering that he went through, it's for the humbling, for the reconciliation. Give me Matthew 20. I do Leviticus 25 tomorrow. Give me Matthew 20 and 25. Now, he done left, blood. You good. He already done left, man. He already done slid. Y'all good, man. That's just what he do. But every now and then, you got to tell him about himself. Because I done told him about himself plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? And he just was representative of what we talking about, people who don't care about us. Individuals throw verses out there, this, that, there, and the third. Like, this dude don't even know me for real. This man ain't never had a conversation for real about what type of time we on. He just don't like the fact that I can tell from your conduct and your behavior that you don't know how to talk to people. He got offended about that when I told him that. Absolutely, Judah. No disagreement. You know what I'm saying? What I mean on this is what we believe, what we espouse. He doesn't ask that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have a problem having a conversation with you about that. I don't participate in the constant telling people. Why would I be in a room full of people who already know to keep the commandments? Why would I be in a room full of people telling them that every week? You already know that. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a conversation that we're going to have every week. But what we can have a conversation is that we get a greater understanding of who God is, what he desires, and what he has promised us, and what we can do to be able to endure, to be able to receive what he has promised us. You know what I'm saying? What elements of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of God can we use to be able to get through certain life situations that will surely come to pass at any given time? You know what I'm saying? How can we be able to be near to one another, like he said in Job, that the scales are so close that no air can get in between, meaning the prince of the air, Satan, can't come in and separate us. You know what I'm saying? I've always told you that when you're in the word, you got to stick close to each other. You know what I'm saying? You have to stick. If you're sticking close to each other, Satan can't get in. Satan gets in when there's space, because that's how he can come in and cause disorder. You know what I'm saying? But if everybody's knit tight and close together, what type of chaos can he commit? He can't. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've always told you, man, when you're going through stuff, the worst thing that you could ever do is isolate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have that level of faith like that, man, Satan will tap dance on your mind, man. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you isolate yourself from prayer and fasting, but most people don't do that when they isolate themselves. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't do that. So you have to stick close to each other. But most people don't stick. I just was talking to my dog about this, man, and I already knew this just over a course of time. Man, you go in most assemblies, man, them people don't care about each other for real. They just there because they feel like they have to be there. You know what I'm saying? And I would rather be in an assembly with 3 people who care about each other than be in an assembly with 3,330 who don't. You know what I'm saying? Because those 3 who care about each other are way more powerful than them 300, them 30, those 3,000 who don't. You know what I'm saying? I've never been on that. Like people like, man, we're steady growing. I don't care about how many people come around here. I really don't. Never have. I care about the people who with each other. Do you have a genuine love, care, and concern for one another? You ain't always got, you're not going to may not get along all the time. You know what I'm saying? You might have disagreements here and there. That's again, he told you offenses will come, you human beings, you might butt heads, but do you love each other though? Do you care about each other though? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, quality, like is you going to see about each other though? I'd rather have that, man. Because I done told you before, man, it don't take no effort to show nobody no love, man. Don't take no effort, bro. It take effort not to love, man. Don't take no effort. And I ain't even talking about when people talking about because you could call somebody every day and don't give a damn about them. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean nothing because people calling you every day. You know what I'm saying? But when you need them, do they fool with you? You know what I'm saying? That's why I said that the other week, man. You ain't always got the people shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to ask or say something, man. That don't mean that people don't fool with you, man. Sometimes people be in their own world. They got their own stuff going on. But boy, when you hit that line and say, my nigga, boy, I need you, boy. Whatever that might be. You know what I'm saying? Is they gonna be there? You know what I'm saying? Whatever that, whether it's a listening ear, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's just tapping in. Whether it's, hey, I just pulled up on you just to holler at you. Whether it was, hey, man, shoot, I ain't got nothing going on. Let's get the kids, man. Let the kids go play. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I ain't got no food. Well, shoot, come get your son to eat, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I praise you, Lord, man. That's all, man. That's all I'm talking about, blood. That's how it's supposed to be, man. Not what this nigga was doing, just throwing precepts at people. I'm talking about real people who really fool with each other, man. Guess what? Different personality types and all. Everybody around here don't like the same things. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just mentioning this because I know that Stanley and Monte like battle rap, like really like it. Like if there was a battle rap event, they probably gonna go. I'm probably not gonna go. Does that mean I don't fool with him because I don't want to go to that? They see it's different when he was performing. Yeah, if he doing, I'm gonna go. Like is it one thing if your nigga say, man, I got this going on. Pull up. Man, if you can pull up, you're going to pull up. The same way. Bro had his grand opening. What did niggas do? They could pull up. What did you do? You pull up. Niggas bought the clothes on the strength. I got you, dude. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight like that. Niggas know I like wrestling. All y'all niggas not been like, oh man, Raw coming through. You know what I'm talking about? You want to slide? Everybody ain't going to want to slide. Monte went out there with me. Hell, shoot, D even went. She was like, Bumpy, shoot, Cody gonna be there. Muffin like to go. Well, let's go on out there. She had a good time. You know what? Hey, Raw, WWE come back, we probably go again. Just like some of y'all don't went to the football game. I don't want to go to. Y'all know I love football. I don't want to be in the stadium though, because I don't like the traffic. You know what I'm saying? I don't like everything that comes along with being at the game. I just would rather watch it at home. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean if D really want to go to a game, I wouldn't take her. Or you like, man, we going, man, can slide through. We should bump it then. You know what I'm talking about? But just in general, I would rather watch it at home. I got the commentary. You know what I'm saying? Everything go along with that. But you know what I mean? No, we went to a live event. They had a live event with their holiday tour. What that was? The 26th? Yeah. The day after Saturnalia. When there was a good show too, especially when you ain't got no TV commercials and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Oh, most definitely, Mika. You already know. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. And that's all I mean, man. Guess what? Some of these women done been right there when some of y'all done gave birth. You know what I'm talking about? And then pulled up on y'all after y'all gave birth. And this is simple stuff like that, man. And some stuff ain't even just no big deal. Hey, I'm finna go around here and see about this here, see about that there. Some of y'all do each other churn hair. You know what I'm saying? Most of the men play with the cheese, and that's how it's supposed to be. It ain't, and they're not on some we doing this because people around. Just genuinely, if you over here, then I'm a fool with. You have to sit back and look at it like this here, man. If you seeing somebody every week, why wouldn't you fool with them? It doesn't matter if you share the same interests. You know what I'm talking about? That's not what it's about. Do you share the same interests with everybody in your natural family? Of course not. Does that mean you don't fool with your cousins? You don't fool with your brothers and sisters? Because your brother like golf music, you don't? That's still your brother. This is what niggas in the world feel like. Everybody got to like the same thing. Everybody got to think the same way. You got to think the same way when it comes to godliness. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the doctrine of God, we all supposed to have the same mind. You still allowed to be an individual who likes what they like. And just because somebody don't hang with you don't mean they care about you. Some of y'all going to be, we talk about this. Some people going to be closer with people than others. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean anything. It don't. See, this, like I told you, can have a nigga and you could call that nigga every day. But when you need him, that nigga don't answer the phone. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Meaning he know you need him and he don't fool with you. What was good all them phone calls them other days? You know what I'm saying? And you can have a nigga you don't call, you may talk to every 3 weeks. But when you call him, he there for you. Which one is better? Because you don't let the internet tell you if they don't call you every day, they don't fool with you. You an idiot, you go for that. Nigga call you every day and hate your guts. You know what I'm talking about? Don't even fool with you like that. That's why he say by their fruits, you gonna know them. Does this person have care and compassion for you? Does this person show mercy to you? Do they have long suffering with you? Are they forgiving with you? That's what you're supposed to be paying attention to. Behavior, directly. How do they treat you? You can't learn that on the internet. You got to be around people for that. And even if people ain't around with you, you could tell. You could tell people fool with you, man. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't nothing as simple as, hey, man, I need such and such. Well, let me see what we can do. Nigga see about you. You know what I'm talking about? That junk ain't hard. That junk ain't hard at all, man. It ain't hard to see about people you care about. You know what I'm saying? Niggas, shoot, niggas don't call me every day. You think I be around here crying, man, them niggas don't fool with me. That nigga got kids. You know what I'm saying? These men got jobs and they got kids. They got wives they got to talk to. You know what I'm talking about? Brother Herman say, when you change that random number to a name you praise, he say, I shush my boss when my mama called. I heard that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You change the name of that random number. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at, man. It's all gravy, baby. You just got to be locked in. When you locked in like that, man, Satan can't get in. Satan can't get in. Let me read that to y'all real quick. Well, I got you holding too.
Matthew 20:25.
Just hold on a second. Look at J.A. considering a rate adjustment. I bet you is, you funky bastard, you. J.A. robbing us with no math, bell face. And say, what you gonna do? Pay it. You know what I'm talking about? That's all we can do, sis. Job 41. This is right here, Job 41, and where is that? Verse 15. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. That's why Paul said it can't be no schisms in the body. You got to stick together. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people's problem is in the word. People's problem in the word is they only stick together when it comes to doctrine. They don't stick together because we blood. And when I say blood, I ain't talking about blood related. I'm talking about the blood of the Lord. You know what I'm talking about? That covenant bondage. You know what I'm talking about? That bread that was broken. That's why they passed one piece of bread around in one cup. So we stick together. That's what they're symbolizing, sticking together. We won. I'm you and you and me, and we and him and he and us. We won. Get it for him, man. John 17-20, man. I'll get to the man suffering in a minute, if the Lord allows. That's finished. Come on with it, blood.
You need to pray out for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they all may be one, as you, Abba, and me, and I and
that you. They all may be what?
One.
Be what?
One.
Talk to them.
As you, Abba, and me, and I and you, that they also may be one in us.
Come on.
That the world may believe that you have sent me. The esteem which you gave me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one.
That's right.
I and them, and you and me, that they may be made perfect in one.
That they may be made perfect in what?
In one.
And what?
In one.
Talk to them.
That the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me.
See, we all got to be perfect in one. We all got to be perfect in one, man. Just me, myself, personally, I just ain't never been, I can't be around a group of people and then I'm like, I don't like them. I don't fool with. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I interact with you on a consistent basis, that means I fool with you. Like we talked about before, there been people who've been around here, like if I wasn't in the word, I wouldn't hang with them. But that don't mean I didn't fool with them. You have to know how to separate the two. You might got relatives that you wouldn't hang with. Like, come on, man. Like, you have to be really being adult. How many of y'all got cousins you wouldn't hang with? Hell, you might got a sibling you wouldn't hang with. You know why? Because just the stuff they into or whatever the case may be, that's just no. That don't mean you don't love them. Don't mean you don't care about them. Niggas get in the word and feel like everything got to be the same all the way across the board. If you ain't this type of person, I ain't fooling with you. You wicked as hell. You know what I'm saying? You wicked as hell, man. Why do you count leisure activities as your definition of how much somebody fooled with you? You know you got to be grossly immature to have that type of thought process. Leisure activities does not define someone's loyalty, care, and concern towards you. That's insane. That is insane. That is literally a middle to high school mentality, man. Grow up. Just grow up. Look here, man. My mama watched all type of stuff I ain't like to look at, man. You know what I'm talking about? That don't mean I ain't fooled my mama. And she like to watch Matlock. That's how stupid you sound. You know what I'm saying? That's right. And there shall be no divisions in our oneness. The divisions come when we ain't truly one. Absolutely. Absolutely, East. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because that's where the division come in at. Because like I told you, man, I got friends I'm friends with niggas, man. We don't talk every day. I'm talking about people who I've been friends with for 30 years. Boy, ain't nothing changed, man, when I see. Man, only thing changed is the date on the calendar, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's why the man say love never fails, man. If his love there, man, amount of time you see or talk to somebody, man, that love ain't gonna stop. If the amount of time you see or talk to somebody called the love to fail, you ain't never love them in the first place. So I got a bunch of them. He said, I don't hang with them at all. You know what I'm saying? And look here, man. And then also at the same token, as you get older, your interests in life change, certain things change. You can't do the same things. I told y'all the other day, boy. Well, I don't even try to be out the house after dark, boy. You know what I'm talking about? On some, especially when I ain't got no glasses. I damn sure ain't want to be outside after dark. You know what I'm talking about? Them doggone white lines on that road go get the blur. Man, I'm drifting into people's lane, man. You know what I'm talking about? Even with glasses, I don't want to be outside after dark. I want to be in the house. I don't want to be traveling nowhere. I damn sure don't want to be outside after 10:30. Outside for what? You know what I'm saying? If we're not coming from somewhere that we went to like earlier, absolutely not. I'm damn sure not coming out the door at 10:30 unless it's going to get some money. Now, if it's going to get some money, I'm coming out the door whenever. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna tell you no lie. About that bread, I'll get up and leave here 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, about that bread, I'll get up now. And I'm out of here. I don't care what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, you talking about just on general principle? Oh, dude. Well, I love all you niggas, boy. I'm not trying to be out at night with you niggas. You know what I'm talking about? And that ain't got nothing to do because I got a wife and kids, man. I don't want to be out the door. I spent my 20s out the door. I spent my teens out the door. I'm good on that. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, boy, I used to be up till the sun came up. You know what I'm saying? Niggas say, why you so old? They ain't so old. Ain't nothing out there. Ain't nothing out there for me. You know what I'm talking about? Not to just be outside. What am I outside at midnight for? What is outside at midnight where I'm going to? I ain't going to no cigar lounge. I ain't going to nobody's club. You know what I'm talking about? Where am I going? I ain't going to nobody's bar. Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? He said, I said an auto option for text when I rejected call depart for me. And that's what I mean to say. There's nothing outside for me to, man, look at, man. We used to hang out on the block in the apartment till 4, 5 in the morning, man. Shoot, man, I could go home, man, and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I out here? Ain't nothing out here. That's how you get robbed and shot. Outside, spending quality time in places that you don't even need to be. You should have had your black behind home. What was you out here for? To have fun? None of these things that I just mentioned is fun to me. I just told you I had to remember they put movies in the movie theaters now. My mind was still thinking it was the pandemic and they were going straight to streaming. I done forgot they done went back to doing all that because I ain't never really go to the movies before that. Now, I understand being outside, just, outside mingling with people, but I'm definitely ain't going to be outside at 3 o'clock in the morning. If I'm outside at 3 o'clock in the morning, I got to be getting some money. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing I do for a living going to get me no money at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I guess you know. Now, because I'm not going to be outside 3 days in the morning, bro. What's out there? Like, I ain't even been like, what's really out there? Who would I want to be around that would want to be outside at 3 o'clock in the morning? It's different if we at somebody's house who you fool with. You just like, man, we just over here, shooting the breeze. But shoot, we can't do that no more. Y'all niggas got too many children. Because nigga gonna think about it, man, shoot, I take them kids home, man. This nigga, shoot, I'm finna go home. Say being over 50, it's not a good look being in the bar. It's so lame, I don't drink anyway. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't do that when I was young. I ain't go to clubs when I was young. I ain't want to be in there. Whole bunch of sweaty niggas with guns. Mixed with alcohol. I don't want to be in here, man. Ain't no type of woman in there I want. A woman who frequent a club is not a woman I want. Talking about to be my old lady. I don't want no old lady who be in the club sweating and humping all the time. I ain't talking about humping as if that she getting horny. I mean having intercourse. I'm talking about just dancing all the time. Because you like to be out in the street. That's not the type of woman. I don't want no woman who want to be out in the street. Always on the scene. I'm good on that. Never care for that. You know what I'm saying? And that might be because my mom and my auntie ain't go out like that. So that, and then all my homeboys' mamas ain't go out like that. You know what I'm saying? So the women who influenced us from childhood, that wasn't their life. So seeing somebody do that, it's like, nah, that don't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing going on but some young niggas standing around in a group of bonnets twerking on headlights at Wawa. Definitely in this city. You say your mama love to party. And I'm not mad at people who like to party. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I don't want that for a wife personally. You know what I'm saying? Lady got mad with me today talking about BBWs. She was like, they said later the dude was talking about something else. They were playing a clip of a trip. talking, and he was like, she was like, most men don't want a BBW, but their mama was a BBW. And dudes was like, what? What does his mama be in a BBW? She was like, most men's mother is the muse for their femininity. I can see why you would say that, but I'm like, I think most men maybe look for the character and personality of their mom and a woman, not necessarily looking for their mother's physical attributes in a woman, because that's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? I want a woman built like my mama. You're a pervert. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of weird. She was like, what is your disdain with BBWs? None. Just because I said that's not my personal preference. I don't care what nobody like. I ain't got to be with them.
Somebody out there like.
No, but I think what it is, and maybe this is, women can speak to this here. You know, I think women think probably dudes probably ridicule and clown dudes for messing with heavier set women. But I'm be honest with you, most dudes don't care who they homeboy mess with or what he like. Because he ain't got to be with her, so he don't care. He ain't like, oh, this nigga like big girls. Nigga don't care.
Niggas might joke around, but I think about shoot,
man, if you be like this, man, nigga like this here, boy, she solid? Yeah, man, she shoot. Blessings. It's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of it. I don't think most dudes really care. They don't really care. Like I said, I mean, dudes gonna crack jokes on their homeboys just on the strength. But I'm talking about, because they were talking about societal norms and beauty norms, and I'm like, I knew dudes, homeboys who mess with heavier set chicks, ain't nobody cared. Now I will say this here though, we knew if he went to fooling with a white girl, he probably was broke. You know what I'm saying? The niggas that I know, you know what I'm saying? We know you were using that girl. You know what I'm talking about? You don't necessarily say nothing, but we know what you're doing. You know what I'm talking about? You know what you're doing. Now, if that's not the norm of who he genuinely, regularly mess with, usually be like, oh, that boy down bad, boy. He trying to come up off that white girl. Don't do that girl like that. Straight up, don't do that girl like that. But come on, man. I'm just telling you what I've seen with my peers. I'm not saying this is across the board. I just knew that, boy. Now when I was on the beach, that was different. A lot of them boys mess with white girls, so that was their regular. You know what I'm saying? It's all depends where you come from. She said that's true, because I realized the older I get, I think about how my mama never hung out in the streets and was always home. Yeah, I mean, most of the time you're gonna mimic what your parents did. So, like, if your parents like to go out and hang out, you might like to go out and hang out. You know what I'm saying? And it could be the opposite. You know what I'm talking about? Like, shoot. I ain't gonna say that. That'd be dead wrong. Because you got some girls who clearly their daddy didn't work because they got a nigga at the house that don't work. So clearly that's what they like. Because I know if your daddy worked and you got you a nigga who don't work, you done offended your daddy. How you got this nigga in here and he don't do nothing but lay on the couch and fart? She said, I know who women who steal club and work with it. Yeah, I mean, some people like to go out. Usually like to go out because they like to drink. And that's really why they like to go, because they like to drink. And they don't want to be at the house drinking. What they call that, being a social drinker? Mm-hmm. Some people like to go out and drink with other people. They don't want to get drunk at home by themselves.
That's suppressive.
You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, the clubs was never my thing, man. There's too many people in here. And I don't dance. And I don't like this music enough to want to sit in here for 2-3 hours and hear it loud. And I don't cold approach women. So why am I here? I could be selling crack right now. So that's what I did. I never went. Y'all boys go to the club and be out here. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm just telling you this. That's where I was at that time. I never went out like that. Never cared. It didn't do nothing for me. Come on, man.
Matthew 20 and 25.
Come on, man. Listen to it.
So, but Yahushua called them and said, you know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them,
mm-hmm.
and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister.
What up?
Whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant.
What else?
Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
So he gave himself to be a ransom, a redeemer, which is not going to be Kippur, but the atonement, right? You know what I'm saying? So listen, Leviticus 25, verse 8. And you shall number 7 Shabbats, years unto you, 7 times 7 years, in the space of 7 Shabbats of years shall be unto you 49 years. And you shall cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound. The 7th month in the day of atonement shall you make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. And you shall hallow the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and you shall return every man unto his possession, and you shall return every man unto his family. Remember what he said? He proclaimed liberty, right? Do this for me, say John 8 and 28. Now, I mentioned that for the atonement, for the trumpet. Then we're going to read back those things that we read in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And then we're going to get into this Isaiah 58. We might not have to go 3-4 hours. We might be able to get in everything we need to get in. John 8 and 28.
Then said Yahushua to them, when you have lifted up the Son of Man, then shall you know that I am.
When you have what?
Lifted up the Son of Man.
When you have what?
Lifted up the Son of Man.
Come on.
Then shall you know that I am, and I do nothing of myself.
I don't do nothing of myself.
As my Abba hath taught me, I speak these things.
That's right.
He that sent me is with me. The Abba hath not left me alone.
He ain't leave me alone.
For I do always those things that please him.
Mm-hmm.
Then Yahushua said to those Yahudim which believed on him, if you continue in my word,
you are
my disciples indeed.
See, remember why he say, bind the testimony among my what? And seal the law among my who? My disciples. That affliction that's in his testimony and the sealing of the covenant, those are for his taught ones. The ones whom he've instructed. His Taladim. Now, it's not Taladim in Isaiah chapter 8, but I ain't even read what I'm supposed to read in Proverbs 23, did it? Look at this here. My bad, y'all. I got caught up in the verse 12 and then come back. Let me read that. Proverbs 23 and 12. Apply your heart unto instruction and your ears to the words of knowledge. Withhold not correction from a child. If you beat him with the rod, he shall not die. Again, Musar is correction. When you look at beat him, it is nakah, nun, kaf, and hey. That is to beat, to slay, to kill, to strike, or to smite, or to chastise, or to send judgment upon. Remember when they say you have back of that wrong judgment proceed? But that's a whole nother deal. We can get on that one there. And when you beat him with the rod or the shabbat, he will not move. He will not die. Now the other one is in 22 and 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it out of him. And we talked about this before. That rod does not necessarily, and Shabbat, for those who don't know, is Shan, Bat, and Tet. And that's, clan, tribe, truncheon, scepter, mark of authority, club, a shepherd's implement, a shaft, a spear, dart, rod, staff, branch. But more so that mark of authority. Because to be able to chasten somebody, you would have to have some type of authority. Do you know what I'm talking about? See, one of the biggest instances that people miss when trying to chasten somebody is you're trying to chasten people you don't have authority over. You know what I'm saying? See, he didn't tell you to chasten your brother. He told you to rebuke your neighbor. So it's different because you don't have no authority over your neighbor. Even when you deal with assemblies in that part, he said don't rule over the Lord's heritage because he said you're not supposed to rule over one another with rigor. You know what I'm saying? Even with that, it's not the leader of the assembly's job to chasten nobody. He's supposed to rebuke them. So it's different. You know what I'm saying? Now, you'll read what Paul told them people, should I come with love or do I need to come with the rod? Do you think he was really coming in there beating them people? See, hitting them with the rod is not corporal punishment. You know what I'm saying? It's bringing in the discipline that comes from instruction. You know what I'm talking about? So you sitting these people down, do I have to hit you across the head with instruction, with the chastening, with the discipline? You know what I'm talking about? Because we told you this before. Discipline without instruction is cruelty. People think discipline is just about striking someone. There has to be instruction involved. Because if you're not teaching them anything, guess what they're going to do? They're going to repeat the same behavior because they don't know why the behavior that they're doing is wrong in the first place. That's why he say those that endure chastening, they get exercised with the peaceable fruits of righteousness. You remember that what you heard in Hebrew? So you think that just means he just randomly beating people? Now his son went through a physical chastisement from being hung from a tree. He took on, remember he tell you that in Numbers, I want to kill them all as one man. The wrath and the anger that Yahuwah had for the sons of Yasharal, he took that out on the son of Elohim instead of you. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what I was trying to tell old, fake original Christian here, who was in here earlier. He just want to throw verses. But I'm going to tell you something, man, and I mean this respectfully and humbly. And I thank Yahuwah for the fact that he don't allow me to be in these spaces with these niggas to do this type of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Because, boy, by the grace of Yahushua, man, I mean this from pure 100% earnestly. Man, these niggas don't want nothing with me, man. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not coming at them how they think. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming for your soul, cuz. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about your leb, your inward man. I'm coming to pierce that. I'm not coming to win no debate with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't coming to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because what we going to talk about, you ain't going to want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I'm telling you, these niggas don't want no problem with me, man. You know what I'm saying? And because he don't give me that type of mind to do that, that's why you don't see me do that. Because dudes be saying stuff. A lot of dudes in this space, they love to debate. They want to go back and forth. I'm not debating with you niggas, blood. I'm not going to do that with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to talk about what I want to talk about. Because, boy, I'm coming for your soul, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about no doctrine. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care if you agree with nothing I'm preaching. I don't care. See, most of everybody, you want everybody to agree with you. Why these people don't? I ain't just saying this here. Because remember I told you Tavon, I've been in Tavon app, man, why more people don't listen? Man, this ain't what people want. You know what I'm saying? You talking about faith and godliness. Man, this ain't what people want. Remember what Paul, they cry with the Paul. In Hebrews, man, he say, man, the things that accompany salvation, that's what we speak. That's what we speak about. What's going to get your soul saved? Ain't that's what you're here for? And when I say what you're here for, I'm not talking about in this clubhouse room, on this YouTube stream, or when we gather y'all willing on tomorrow. I'm talking about, ain't that's what you fool with you for? To get eternal life? You believe that that's what he promised and that's what he given? Ain't that's what you here for? So I don't give a damn about no doctrine, man. But if I was on that type of time, man, I'd knock these niggas' heads straight off their shoulders and use it as a soccer ball, then sew it back on their neck and cut that hole off again. You know what I'm talking about? But that junk is fruitless. You know why all them back and forth and debates is fruitless? Because Yahuwah is not esteemed and nobody's edified. So it's a waste of time. And that's why I don't participate. Because the type of time that we on, gentlemen, it goes above the heads of many, and they don't desire to talk about it. You know why? Because it's not a carnal-based conversation. You know what I'm saying? When it's okay if you have a carnal conversation, meaning a natural conversation. You might sit around and talk about football. You know what I'm saying? You got brews that's so righteous, they'll be like, man, these niggas talking about football. You should be talking about the scriptures. Cut it out, bro. You're not like that for real. You know what I'm saying? You're not like that for real, bro. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because these niggas can't be real people. You can serve God and still be a real person, bro. You just don't participate in wickedness anymore. You just don't participate in ungodliness anymore. You know what I'm saying? You say, is that being over righteous? No, that's just a nigga being fake. Be 100% honest with you. That's just a nigga being fake. Because a nigga tell you should be in the scriptures all day. I would have respected more if he said he spent all his time praying and fasting. I'd believe him more then. You can talk about the scriptures all day and be wicked as hell. I'm not impressed with that. You know what I'm saying? But if you told me, and even with somebody dedicating all their time to prayer and fasting, that's only a select few people who he carve out to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, niggas have to stop it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. Because some of y'all don't talk about scriptures all day, and you more righteous than these people who do. You know why? Because you embody that which you do talk and read, you embody it in your life. You know what I'm saying? Nigga talk about scriptures all day, hate his wife. You know what I'm talking about? Call all type of names, hit upside the head. But he talk about scriptures all day. But you don't know that because you ain't in the house with her. So you don't know she catching Dusty Rose bionic elbows. You know what I'm talking about? She all manner of female dogs and harlots. You know what I'm saying? But when you see him, he always talking about the word. That's a godly man. That brother always got the precepts in his mouth, but he ain't got them in his heart. He got the precepts in the wrong place. Blessed and highly favored. Come on, that's an antiseptic, you know what I'm saying, response. I remember the brother say, well, you got to watch them niggas that say all praises all the time. He said, most of them niggas wicked as hell. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't talking about people who say it in an applicable situation. They just say it all the time. All praises, all praises. Hey, how you doing, brother? All praises, all praises. It's nice weather outside. All praises, all praises. Who are you praising? You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? You say that irks me. I heard that. And I understand why. You know what I'm talking about? I understand why. You know what I mean? I ain't talking about when something happened, it's real like, oh, praise you, all praise. Praise God. You know what I'm saying? It's applicable. It's the right situation and circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all know what I'm talking about because you've been around people who do that. Every statement is all praises, all praise. Yeah, I bought me some new shoes. All praises, all praise. I just went to the bathroom. All praises, all praise. Yeah, man, you nigga be tripping, man. So I seen a clip of a man who mom passed exposed that she was messing around with a married man at a funeral. My God, today. That's all I'm saying, man. A lot of people be faking. You know what I'm talking about? Me, myself, I be more. Then you got people, I hate people who say Jesus and God and Lord. Man, shut your goofy behind up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Wicked as hell. Niggas get their boxers in a bunch. You know what I'm saying? They briefs maybe. When they hear somebody say Jesus. Nigga, I don't care. I don't care. They more mad about it. You think God in heaven mad about that? Cause I guarantee you he ain't. I'd put money on it. You know why? Because you so bent out of shape that he say Jesus, but you live like you say Satan. That's how you live, though. But you don't say Jesus, though. But you live wicked as hell every day of the week. Which one's better? But you ain't supposed to make no mentions of no. Shut up, nigga. Say another word. Say it again. Oh, what you got to tell these niggas, man? These niggas is retarded, bro. Where you at, bud?
You go to John 8.
Keep on rolling.
Verse 32.
John 8 and 32. I'm sorry, y'all. I shouldn't have went on that tangent. But these niggas make me mad.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How say you shall be made free?
How should you be made what?
Free.
How you going to get this liberty?
Shall I answer them? Truly, truly, I say unto you, whosoever commits sin
is the
servant of sin.
And the servant
abide not in the house forever.
What happened?
The Son abide forever. The Son therefore shall make you free.
You shall be
free indeed.
If the Son shall make you
free,
you shall be
free indeed.
If the Son shall make you
free,
you shall be
free indeed.
Come on with it.
I know that you are Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me because my word have no place in you.
That's good. My word ain't got no place. Mom Steph say the most wicked in Christ. My God, today. That's what they is, though. That's what they is. Now, come over here to Matthew 27:45. I got you, bro. We're going to read what we read Wednesday from Matthew 27, Mark, what that is, 15, Luke 23, John 19. And then we'll get into Isaiah 58. Remember that Jubilee literally means, let me get that for y'all. I'm trying to rehash your memory. That's what we ended with, but we didn't jump right back into it. So I know it might not be at the forefront of your brain, and that's okay. That's why we just go back and do what? Say, read it again. Read it again. You look at Jubilee, that is Yobel, Yad, Bat, and Lamad, I'm sorry, ram's horn, trumpet. Cornet, ram's horn trumpet jubilee year, marked by the blowing of cornets. Not Jim Cornette. I'm sorry, y'all don't know who that is. I'm sorry. You know who Jim Cornette is? Our wrestling manager, man. A cornet is a literal trumpet, a brass instrument. So when people tell you this here, they were not blowing a ram's horn. They were blowing that pure silver trumpet like we read about in Numbers chapter 10. You know what I'm talking about? Shalom, Brother Mike, man. You know what I'm talking about? So keep that in mind. Literal trumpet, you dig? You got people grabbing ram's horns. That's not what your law say to do, Mr. Lawman. How you the lawman but don't do it right? Yeah, that's what they be wanting to hear. That's how you show stuff like that. They don't really care about the law for real. Like I said, and that's not even a hard thing to do. Like I said, people only like to throw the law at people because they like to condemn people. That's all these dudes walk around here doing is coming with words of condemnation. Ain't nobody speaking no words of salvation, man. That's how you know they're not of God. This is the small elements of game that you're supposed to be picking up on. Ask yourself this question. Other than rebuking the people because they were out of pocket with a covenant that they were in, where do you see Yahuwah overly whelming going around condemning people? You know what I'm saying? Like, pay attention to this here, man. I'm talking about, where do you see that? Even in the midst of people acting sideways, he still gave a ministry of an opportunity of reconciliation and repentance before he went to talking about cracking people's skulls. He did not lead with condemnation. Do y'all pay attention to that when you read through the book? Where do you see this man leading with condemnation? He said, that's not the man. Shoot, I know that's right. I'm being serious, man. I really want y'all to examine Genesis to Malachi on your own time. He didn't lead with condemnation when he was talking about flooding the earth. It said it grieved his soul because he knew what he was going to have to do. You can't read Ezekiel 18 when he said, I take no pleasure in the death of the wicked. So turn yourself and live. And as Omar just mentioned, he's slow to wrath because he said when he proclaimed his name that he's long suffering, which means that's slow to anger. So someone who was slow to anger, why would they lead with condemnation and damnation? Why would that be the go-to? This man always led with mercy, grace, and compassion. That's not a New Testament thing. Anybody who tell you that's a New Testament thing don't know God. They don't know Yahuwah. He never led with that. This man has said repeatedly, he's merciful. He repented of evil. It's throughout the whole Old Testament. This is how you know that they don't believe in him, nor do they know him or saw this word, because they wouldn't say, see, that's a different God. That's that New Testament stuff. That man always been gracious, cuz. What are you talking about? He's always been forgiving. What are you talking about? He's always been merciful. What are you talking about? It's insane. But this man when you lead with the law, bro, you automatically condemning people, because if they contrary to it, they condemn. You bringing death. You're not bringing life, boy. You supposed to bring it. Didn't we just read he say, proclaim the name of Yahuwah, ascribe greatness to our God? That's not what they out here doing, man. You're supposed to pay attention to that. You ain't supposed to just think that's just a neat thing and to see, this is what he's telling you they're supposed to behave. And if this is how they're supposed to behave, guess what? That means the people who he's seeing are going to embody that character. They're going to embody that. They're going to do just that. Remember what we read in 1 Chronicles 16 when he said, proclaim the gospel. That's what it said. Ain't no good news in the law, bro. If you're a homosexual, what good news is that if I read you Leviticus 18? How is that good news to you? If you're an adulterer and I read that to you, how is that good news to you? If you are a talebearer, you are a slanderer of your own mother's son, how is that good news for you? If you like to run after a multitude to do evil, how is that good news to you? It's not. You know why? Because you're condemned. And guess what the law say got to happen to you if you do these things? You got to die, blood. So you literally bringing death to people, man. What are you talking about? We got to bring the people back to the law. You got to bring people back to God, stupid. The laws is self-explanatory, man. That's minute. That's light. You know why dudes put so much emphasis on the law like that? Because they ain't keeping it. somebody who keeping it, they ain't got to put that much emphasis on it. Because, baby, that's life. Let me show you this here, man. This is how we move, baby. This the rules of the game. This is how we get down with this crew right here, man. When they say gang, this is how we move over here. These are the rules. Yeah, these are the rules. This is how we do. Bet. Because he already sold with the good news that you gave him, that the rules you gave him, oh, bet. That's right. He can focus on what he need to do to get the promise. Niggas think they righteous because they got fabric at the bottom of their shirt. These stupid niggas putting fringes on tank tops. Like, come on, bro. The tank top, bro? We seen the brew in Freshfield today. He was walking through the parking lot. I said, well, it look like a nigga, he had some fringes on. You know what I'm saying? He did too. When we got in the store. I don't be talking to them, dude. I don't be wanting to talk. Because you come at me talking about where your fringes at, I'm going to just push my cart right past you. I ain't going to lie to you. Most of them ain't even going to want to talk to you. They ain't even really going to want to fool with you for real. That's how flawed these niggas is, man. That's how flawed these niggas is, man. I'm not just saying that just to be saying that. That's how flawed these niggas is, man. Them niggas will look at you as you a wicked bastard because you ain't got no fringes on. But they don't even, and they'll let, man, you don't even know what type of connection, what I could do for you, what we could do for each other, or nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Because you so pressed. He ain't got no fringes on. I ain't fooling with him. You think I want to be fooled up with niggas who think like that? I don't. I genuinely don't. Because I know I'm going to cuss them out. You know what I'm saying? No, man, I don't go along to get along. I told you that, man. I don't toss salads and I don't perform fellatio, and I'm not a go along to get along type of dude, man. And I don't want to be down, man. My name is not Brandon Norwood. I promise it ain't. I fool with people, boy, but I'm not finna kiss your behind and do all these backflips to be cool with you. Nigga, bump you in. Because we real niggas over here, bro, straight from the collard green patch. You know what I'm saying? You who have mercy on the soul, my nigga Crunch, man. I'm not on that. I'm not on that, bro. Shalom, brother Mark, man. I'm not on that, bro. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they want you to show your righteousness versus living. I ain't got to do all that. People feel like if they don't hold the same doctrine, you got to be beefing with them. Man, I'm not beefing with nobody because they believe different. I'm not doing that. You know why I ain't doing that? Because I know people who died from real beef, bro. Like real deal animosity. You know what I'm saying? I'm not beefing with nobody about no differences in Bible doctrines, bro. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I done told you before, man. My homeboy got killed in 04. Another dude we know. When you see the dude, man, and then a week later, they find this man with his genitalia in his mouth by the railroad tracks, man. And you got a homeboy who got dismembered. Bro, I'm not getting in no beef with nobody about no Bible doctrine, bro. I promise you that. It's not that deep. You know what I'm talking about? It might be for you, but it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not beefing with you about no difference in no doctrine, bro. I'm not. I really not. I ain't even got it ain't even no pressure. Dudes be having animosity with people because they believe, not for righteousness' sake, because they believe this is this. Bro, I done seen people willing to fight about what Sabbath they keep, bro. I seen people want to jump my homeboy because he didn't believe Esau was the white man. I'm not making this up. This is stuff from like 2015, 2016. I'm talking about a decade ago. I'm not making none of this up. Like, I knew people who actually wanted to fight each other because one person kept a lunar Sabbath, another person didn't. They were having doctrinal disputes about that. These boys want to fight when they see each other. Nigga try to finesse my dog to come out to a conference so they could jump him because he don't believe America, Babylon, and Esau was the white man. They wanted to fight this man about this. Like, literally put hands on him, do something to him. But I'm not doing all that, bro. For what? That's crazy. Y'all think I'm making this up, man. These niggas crazy. This niggas really be on, man. Come on, Zip. What I'm reading? Matthew 27, 46. Mm-hmm. 45. Now from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And the 9th hour, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, that is to say, my Elohim, why have you forsaken me? Verse 50, Yahushua, when he cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the Ruach. Shalom, Ashtaron, man. Come over here to Mark. What that is? What I told you, 16. You know, we just rehashing. We might rehash Psalms 31 again. We feeling good, baby. It's 15. We ain't in no rush. Your shoe. That's happening. What's good with you, bro? It's all grave over here, my nigga. Where we at with it? 15:33. And when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. At the 9th hour, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is interpreted, Elohim, Elohim, why have you forsaken me? And some of them that stood by when they heard said, behold, he called Elijah. And one ran with a reed, filled a sponge full of vinegar. Tell him what vinegar means. And put it on a reed and gave him to drink, saying, let alone, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down.
Vinegar is ozos, vinegar, the mixture of sour wine or vinegar and water, which the Roman soldiers were accustomed to.
And more likely this was sour wine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just wanted y'all to hear that that's sour wine. Not necessarily like the white vinegar that you niggas clean your floor with. Not for I don't know if you do that. You do that? I don't do that. That junk stink. You got some people who be wanting you to clean buildings with vinegar, but that junk stink. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even that it's strong. It gives off an aroma in your mop, depending on what you done use with your mop before you use that. If it's not a brand new mop head, it gives off the sense that you're using sour water. Definitely pungent. You know what I'm saying? It'll smell like sour dishwater. Because I got orange scent, I ain't got to worry about that. It's gonna smell citrusy. It's clean. Say some of them type of people may be the bloodline that cried out, let his blood be on children's children. I definitely agree. But I also too, Sean, believe this here, man, and I ain't gonna go on tangent. I think it's more so the environments that are fostered in these organizations of how they view things. I think people are taught and instructed that way to have that type of deal. So that's why it's hard for people to understand that somebody don't really have no strong beef with somebody because they may believe something a tad bit different than them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we cool with people who keep Sabbath from daytime to daytime. I don't care. You think I'm going to disregard this man's character and spirit because of something like that? I'm not. That's not even something we argue about. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I think this was I don't think I know. This was 2015. There was a lot of contention going on with feast day times, Sabbath times, 13 months in a year, all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? People making all types of videos about all type of things. And we sat down and we didn't remember that because we was at the downtown library when we began that. Went a deep dive through all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's look in the text and look at it. You know what I'm saying? And that's because a lot of the things that you see people be going back and forth about, but they've been going back and forth about this stuff for so long, man. Man, we've been went through that. Most of y'all wasn't even thinking about dealing with no word, or may have been dealing with whoever you were dealing with. Man, we done already looked at that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is what we doing. Ben did that. You know what I'm saying? And then these conversations just get recycled, no matter what they are. Now, I will say, this was on my. I will say that the lunar Sabbath thing is not as prevalent as it used to be. Neither the flat Earth. There was a time period that those two conversations, from like 2015 to 2019, extremely prevalent, like all the time. You know what I'm saying? If you were in those circles, all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you just get to the point, I don't want to hear this. Tired of hearing it. You know what I'm saying? The only things that have continued to persist is can Gentiles be saved in a virgin birth? Those two topics have continued to persist. You know what I'm saying? There's other ones, but and polygyny. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Verse 37. Mark 15. Yahushua cried with a loud voice and gave up the ruach. And the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. And when the centurion which stood over against him saw that he so cried out and gave up the ghost, he said, truly, this man is the son of Elohim. See if it's going to get me Psalms 31. I'm going to read Luke 23. And that's because I want you to read the definition for commit. Let me get around it when I read this. Luke 23 and 44. It was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. The sun was dark, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. And when Yahushua cried with a loud voice, he said, Abba, into your hands I commend my ruach. And having said thus, he gave up the ruach. Psalms 31 and 5. Mm-hmm. Go on here.
Into your hand I commit my ruach. You have redeemed me, O Yahuwah Elohim of truth.
Go ahead and give him commit. And I think redeemed there is padak, but confirm that for me when you give him commit again.
Commit is pakad, to attend to muster, to number, to reckon, visit, punish, appoint, to look after, to care for.
To care for. Remember when we talked about that, he said, cast your cares upon him because he cares for you. When you can cast your cares to him, when you can commit your cares and commit yourself to this man, knowing that he cares for you and trust that he cares for you, that's what help can take the anxiety away. I ain't saying it's going to be easy because you're not your, you know what I'm saying? Especially depending on, because let's not be anal. The ability for individuals to let go of anxiety is going to be contingent upon how long they've been holding on, been like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say, truth be told, one of the key things if you deal with a high level of anxiety is try to figure out where did that start? Because you didn't come out the womb anxious. You know what I'm saying? You didn't come out the room fearful. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at the English definition for that again. When you look at anxiety, it's the intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he said when you have those things, to what to think upon. You know what I'm saying? It's also another definition, the feeling of fear, dread, or uneasiness that can be a normal reaction to stress. Now that's another thing, because that's the other side of the coin, is that sometimes anxiety is a stress response. So then we have to look at, okay, why does certain stress stimuli trigger this response? You know what I'm saying? Where did that begin at? You know what I'm saying? See, we could you look at these things, just read this Bible verse, and that's cool. But the comprehensive thing to do is we have to isolate, focus. Where did that begin at? Because usually where that began at is some particular life event, and it can help you be able to understand how that got triggered in your mind to where you can be able to manage it when you face those situations, now using the word of God as your anchor. You know what I'm talking about? Prayerfully, that makes sense. So definitely agree that hatred to want to fight trivial things. I missed that one. Doctrinal disputes, discrepancies. See, with George the clone in the camp. I watched their videos almost. Yeah, and that's because it's the debate thing, man. That's really where it comes from. See, with that to agree, it was so bad last year. I had to go into I don't know what that word is, and call up the EMT. Dealt with awful anxiety as a child. Yeah, and the reason why I say that is the more you're self-aware of yourself, the more or normally fast heart rate, the more that those things won't have control over you, and you can have control over them. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be honest with self-reflection and self-assessment. And again, these things don't mean that you're an unbelieving person or that you're a human being who has certain life situations and they caused a certain reaction in your mind, and this is not how you react to certain things. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to isolate that. Okay, I respond to stress and with anxiety because I experienced this. Or I have anxiety in general because I experienced this. And when you can look at that, you can unravel that. Because if you can't even look at what caused it, how can you lay that burden down to give it to God in the first place? You don't even know what you're giving him. You know what I'm saying? You just don't give him the anxiety. You give him the root cause of the anxiety. What caused it? That's what you give him. You know what I'm saying? Say entire anxieties. I felt suffocated. Oh man. Yeah, I got a homegirl who has anxiety attacks. You know what I'm saying? And that's different than most people who just have them. When you're dealing with anxiety attacks, that means there's actually literally been a chemical shifting in your brain at some point in your life. You know what I'm saying? To where your body responds like that. Say anxiety, strong desire, sometimes mixed with doubt, fear, and uneasiness. It is. See, that's for sure my source of anxiety, not fear particularly. It's triggered by stress, makes it hard to battle. And then sometimes it might not even be a stressor that you experienced in life. You just might need to learn how to manage stress better. You know what I'm saying? It could be something as simple as that. And see, the first key, like what you just mentioned, Nisha, is that you know that it's triggered by stress. So then we have to look at, okay, why does stress cause me to have this physiological response like this? You know what I'm saying? What can I do to mitigate that? So when you look at, say, using that example per se, if you look at, okay, I get anxiety attacks from stress, and that's where you come in, be careful for nothing. And when that anxiety come in, think on those things which are pure. Thinking, you know what I'm talking about? And that will abate that stress, because he said he'll give you an understanding that surpass all peace. You know what I'm talking about? So things of that nature. And it just calls you to, and that's what I meant earlier when I say, you know, when you can identify these things, now you can use your faith in God as your anchor to outweigh those things until they are eliminated. You know what I'm saying? And as he said, perfect love will cast out fear. And if he tell you he keep you in perfect peace because your mind is stayed on him, then we know faith is what that perfect love is to cast these things out. So you strengthen your faith day by day. Like I've told y'all before, you don't have to, you don't go in the gym benching just a bar to 225 the next day. You know what I'm saying? You, over a consistent period of time, training day in and day out, you build that strength up, i.e. here, you know, that faith, that trust in Yahuwah to be strong enough to cast that weakness out. You know what I'm saying? This is a process. Said childhood abuse, was always fearful and stressed, trying to undo all that. And it take time. That's what we mentioned earlier, the fight or flight mode kick in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just got to get that over there. And that's what the Lord did. Again, remember, he said he was exceedingly sorrowful even unto death. Listen, I don't know if any of you have been in a situation where you were so sorrowful, meaning you had some manner of distress, sadness in your mind that you wanted to die. Remember last week we were talking about people committing suicide, whether that was just you wanted to commit suicide or you just wanted to die in general. But I'm telling you, to be exceedingly sorrowful even unto death, that is a high level of sorrow. Oh, and that's just working through the because you sounded, well, what you saying, that sound like that's PTSD. I ain't gonna lie to you. That sounds like PTSD. Hold on. I just want to pull that out real fast. You know, I ain't no expert, but that's what that sounds like. That's Matthew 26 and 37. This man said he was exceedingly sorrowful. When you look at sorrowful here in this Greek, it is lupeho, to make sorrowful, to affect with sadness, to cause grief, to throw into sorrow, to make one easy, to cause him a scruple. Heaviness. Now, verse 38, hold on, I didn't get heavy because I'm in verse 37. Very heavy here is amino, to be troubled, great distress or anguish or depressed. So this man was literally in a depression. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced a depression or been around somebody who had been in depression, but depression make you want to die, depending on how bad it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing to be taken lightly. It's not nothing to be taken to just be disregarded. Like that's a light thing, because that's a constant state of sorrow. When you're in a constant state of sorrow, it does something to your mind. He said, I give myself time in my life not to crash out. I tell people I'm going to take me 5 minutes to be alone. And that's good. That's a good thing. A common source of anxiety in the word is people worrying about their family salvation, alive or dead. That's tough. For some people, it is. You know, it's different for everybody. You know, definitely not the one who say been diagnosed with major depression disorder. Yes, evil people do all this damage, and then the one has to live and try to. And guess what? They going to hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even cutting no corners with that. Now, he said his exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Exceedingly sorrowful here is paralepos. Very sad, exceedingly sorrowful. To overcome with sorrow so much as to cause one's death. This could literally be taken as someone being at the point of being suicidal. That he was literally depressed enough that if this was a different individual, they would take their life. You know what I'm saying? Now, we focusing on this because that is a strong word. And that's a high level of weakness at that particular point. High level of anxiety to go along with it, because what was he praying for? What was making him sad to the point that he wanted to die? The anxiety that he had of knowing what he was about to suffer. You know what I'm saying? He was uneasy about that. He was anxious about that. But then you see what he did. You know what I'm saying? That's why we focus on that, because people don't pay attention to that, because he literally had a moment, like we were talking about earlier. Your Lord and Savior had a moment. But look at what he did. So you're not defined because you have a moment. Again, we're talking about a continual process. But you know why most of us don't come out of anxiety, depression, and things of this sort? Because these niggas ain't official, so they don't talk about these things to the point that where we can overcome them. Get Psalms 31 and 24 that moment, then Psalms 27 and 14. See, black people, mainly black people in the word, they try to act like these things don't exist. You know what I'm saying? Niggas stupid enough to tell you that's a demon on you. That's a spirit. No, it ain't no spirit. That nigga sad, cuz. There's no unclean spirit on this man. Somebody abused him before. That's why he's sad. Nigga, what you talking about? He may have watched somebody die before. That's why he's sad, cuz. These niggas is retarded, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't no spirits on nobody, got nobody. Say ain't no demon on this nigga, man. Life got this man. That's why I hate these niggas, man. They talk about these church people so bad and then come with the same type of stuff. No, bro. That man went through a highly stressful event. He dealing with some things, man. You know, I'm finna say this here, man, because I know Nisha and D favorite song right here. You know about this right here? You know about that little booster, man? I'm going through some things. Don't nobody understand it, man. People be going through stuff, man. And everybody don't react to stressors in the same fashion. You want to blame it on the spirit. The spirit is you're an idiot. You're uncompassionate, you're uncaring, and you're a fool. And you need to get away from people because you're destructive. Man, you got people who've been abused, man. Man, you understand the level of stress somebody grow up, man. They people busting upside the head all the time. You know what I'm talking about? Touching on them, telling them they ain't gonna be this and they ain't gonna be that. You know what I'm talking about? Man, that messes with people's brain, bro. You think somebody gonna be functional after that? And you think because you gave them 5 Bible verses that was gonna correct 10 to 15 years of traumatic experiences, bro? Come on, man. You say I was told every diagnosis is unclean spirits. I ended up feeling guilty. No, I ain't no unclean spirit, man. The unclean spirit was the unclean spirit that the nigga was operating in who did that to you. Not that they had an unclean spirit, but that their spirit was unclean. You know what I'm saying? Nah, ain't no unclean spirit in you, man. These niggas stupid as hell. Niggas say I got an unclean spirit in me because a nigga was molesting me. How I got an unclean spirit because a nigga was touching me? So you mean to tell me nigga abused me and Satan jumped in me because a nigga abused me? I ought to get baseball bats and hit these niggas in the mouth. Man, don't y'all let these jackasses tell y'all no stupid stuff like that, man. Man, Satan ain't in you because you got depression or anxiety or whatever the case may be because a nigga did something to you, man. Hell no. That junk just made me mad. Yes, absolutely trauma alters your brain chemistry. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to the Lord about it. It really alters the way of feeling and thinking. It is. It does alter your brain chemistry. Oh, no, you good. We're going to read them anyway. You know how that goes. Say, at what point does that turn into an excuse? Now, see, you can tell. You said these folks are touched. I've seen some youngsters tell me I got spirits on me too. Lord have mercy. You can tell when a nigga just making excuses, trying to, and you can versus somebody who is genuinely, because most people who have a certain level of depression or PTSD, they still can go about their daily functions. You know what I'm saying? It's just when they're faced with certain situations and circumstances, those triggers go off and they can't function in the way that they would want to. And it can have like she said, they could go into an anxiety attack and it could literally feel like they're about to die. Versus a nigga who just sitting around the house farting and scratching his butt. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Like most people who really have some type of mental stressors, they go about their day, they get up and go to work. You know what I'm saying? They do all these things, but there's an underlying pain and suffering that nobody can see. You know what I'm saying? Which goes back to what Lee mentioned, like that's why a lot of people don't talk about it. Because the average person don't care. You know what I'm saying? See, bum niggas use my daddy wasn't there. Then you got some people like, hey man, people not being there caused them to be around people who did things to them. And of course, you know somebody who that happened to. You know what I'm talking about? Like, now this nigga getting touched on, getting called a homosexual every day. People cussing at him. You know what I'm saying? That messes with your brain. You're not coming out of that the same. I'm not going to say the same because you're a child. You're not going to come out of that healthy and functional. You're not going to come out of that proper. That's going to haunt your life until you die if you don't run across somebody who's skillful enough to help you walk through that. You know what I'm saying? And I just say that because when you deal with the quote unquote religious spaces, because I don't have a better word, whether Hebrew or Christian, they don't really know how to deal with people who have had certain things happen to them. Damn. Say one of my old friends died from an anxiety attack alone in the car. That's not serious, bro. Because like Mika done mentioned, bro, when certain trauma alters your brain chemistry. You know what I'm saying? You're not the same person after that. You know what I'm talking about? You are not the same person. You know what I'm saying? And when you're dealing with somebody who's dealing with PTSD, depending on what caused that trauma, man, they could go into that. And PTSD got panic attack, all type of stuff come with that, man. You know what I'm saying? But most people don't have the care and compassion to care enough about people who suffer from those things, to be honest with you. Say deep down, you fighting to make it through the day. I feel like at the end of the day, you have to keep going. But that don't mean absolute. And I know, I mean, and you just validating what I mentioned. Like people who really dealing with that, it's a fight and a struggle for them to get through the day. You know what I'm saying? But they just keep on pushing, even in the midst of mental anguish. But see, these whole niggas just sit around and cry because ain't nothing happened to that nigga. He just a hoe. You know what I'm saying? So I got a childhood friend whose mom used to verbally eviscerate him. His mind as an adult is definitely damn. Telling you, man, that junk is, Lord have mercy. It's tough. So if I understand the concept, people who suffer PTSD are not careful in those matters. They will survive the next encounter is the proper response. See, the thing, when you're dealing with PTSD, and it depends on what caused the trauma. You know what I'm saying? It really depends on what caused the trauma. And that's why I say it varies. Because let's look at what how PTSD is defined. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that can develop after experiencing or witnessing traumatic events. Symptoms can involve flashbacks or nightmares, severe anxiety, uncontrollable thoughts about the event, negative thoughts about oneself or the world, ongoing negative emotions such as fear, anger, guilt, or shame, avoiding people, places, and things connected to that event, feeling alone and losing interest in daily activities, having trouble concentrating and sleeping, feeling detached or numb, or being easily startled. It said that PTSD can be caused by physical injury, severe mental or emotional distress, life-threatening events such as military combat, violent assaults, natural disasters, cancer, other forms of violence such as rape, sexual assault, intimate partner violence, and bullying. And it also says it's a disorder which a person has difficulty recovering after experiencing or witnessing a terrifying event. This condition may last months or years, with triggers that can bring back memories of that trauma, accompanied by intense emotional and physical reactions. They do say they give people medication or different types of trauma-focused psychotherapy. And the reason why it's like that, because these situations literally alter the way that your mind thinks. So you met him in 5th grade, and the first time I went by the crib, it was all kind of stupid MFers, you dumb fat B, oh my God. Now, imagine you 5, 6, 7 years old, right? When you start to really be able to internalize those words and you hear that for a decade. You know what I'm saying? You all screwed up in the head. You know what I'm talking about? All screwed up. And don't let the words come with swinging fists and boots and kicks. Say Christians, they really don't support. Nobody supported me when my father died, and I served there. So the death of both parents, I had to learn to deal with that. See, that's unfortunate. They say it can be debilitating combined with anxiety and depression. Felt almost impossible before. You say, I don't take antidepressants because of the side effects. Then they bring suicidal thoughts. Y'all's kept me since I've had those episodes. Well, praise you for that. No, I understand, man. You say you thinking about bro right now. Listen, right? Oh, I imagine it was. Because when somebody dies, you would think if you in a congregation with a bunch of people, that niggas come see about you. Your daddy died, your mama died, you ain't gonna holler at a nigga? Just to make sure, boy, you're good, boy. You need anything, man? You just gonna let me deal with that by myself. And then when service come around, you expect me to do X, Y, Z. Man, go to hell. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down, man, you got to be out your rabbit mind. Man, that's some wicked junk right there, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant earlier about you can sit around these people all the time, but you don't fool with them. They be all right, they strong, they got the Lord. Yeah, they got the Lord, they supposed to have you too, nigga. And when she mentioned that, she was a teenager. When her daddy died, she was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen. And I'm just thinking about this here, man. When my auntie died, man, my cousin was 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? That was probably one of the most difficult things in the world. To know that I had to sit there and try to comfort my cousin. It wasn't nothing I could say to her. You know what I'm saying? And then the tough part was to turn around and have to do that again 21 years later when her son died. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing you can do, you just got to be there. Man, and she ain't in no word, nigga, but this is my blood cousin. We 9 months apart. You know what I'm talking about? But boy, you talking about you serving with people in the word, bro. Like physically there. Like I see you. I know where you stay. My people die, you don't say nothing. Oh, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Oh, praise. Oh, hey, get your goofy behind out my face, nigga. Man, you fake as hell. I already know these people don't fool with me. Especially a child. That's a child. Nigga, you 18, you're a child. You know what I'm saying? You're a child. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, bro, you supposed to, nigga, man, I ain't got no parents. Nigga just like, yeah, you know, be warm and feel. Man, I almost said something I ain't supposed to say on camera. Come on, man. Cause why man, look at why I told them niggas, man, I invite them niggas to my genitals, man. You know what I'm talking about? I want to fight. I'm literally finna say that so we can fight. I want to fight now. You come at me with this, John, man. You gonna be here this Sunday to serve? Nigga, what? See, the SSR is gonna have life-threatening side effects. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I ain't here to tell nobody what to take or what not to take. All I know is y'all niggas already know this here, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, you come holler at me. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care what you got going on. You know, come holler at me, man. And that ain't just cause I'm sitting here preaching no word, man. If I fool with you, man, you come holler. I don't care what you got going on. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care what you got going on, man. Ain't no issue too small, because ain't no, in my mind, ain't no issue small. You know what I'm saying? If it's causing a negative effect to you mentally. The only thing you realize, man, is we done talking about, man, them negative thoughts you had mentally will start showing up in you physically. You know what I'm saying? They definitely will. But come on, whatever, Psalm 31 and 24? Mm-hmm. Run that for me.
So be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Mm-hmm. All you that hope in Yahuwah.
That's right. That's what Brother Marvin said he like to look at getting back folk. I think the other one was Psalm 27, 14. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Psalm 27, 14. No, I understand the mood. That's tough, though. You know what I'm saying? That's why when we was in the hospital, because clearly the Lord worked it out that way, that my cousin got there as soon as I got there, right before Mom Duke passed, or be there. But you know what I'm saying? Like when her mama passed, my mama was there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we both wore, but I would call my mom a little bit more than different because she was thinking I'm a child. You know what I'm saying? Plus, because I was 19. You know what I'm saying? But Cub was living in Atlanta, so she had aunt too though. But Mom Duke did that for her. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to. It just all depends, man, because that stuff hit you differently. Like I know, like you know, Cub doing a lot of things, but Cub not gonna be the same after her son died. It's impossible. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to be the same. And I mention that because when you see and you experience certain things, well, you're not going to be the same. And it comes from this stuff that everybody got to feel like they got to prove how strong and how tough they is. And man, cut that junk out, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why you around here breaking down mentally now. This nigga said, oh, this your boy. Wakanda Lam. Just let him live for the moment, man, until he start getting stupid. And then he start getting stupid, Marvin. You know what to do, but let him live for the moment. Come on, man. 27, 14.
Wait on Yahuwah. Be of good courage. He shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on Yahuwah.
So you already know that the waiting on Yahuwah is trusting in him. You know what I mean? But John 19, 28. John 19, 28. After this, Yahushua, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. Now they set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it upon hyssop and put it to his mouth. And when Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ruach. That boy said, I got that melanin on. Good. Isaiah 58. Now we rehash these things to touch on what we concluded with. Well, we look like we're going to get to 3 hours. Maybe not 4. 58 and 1, Isaiah. What he said to do?
Cry aloud.
And what?
Spare not.
And lift up your
voice like a trumpet.
And show
my people their transgression.
And the house of Jacob
their sins.
Let's talk about that again. Tell them what cry aloud is. This is why we read about him crying with a loud voice on the tree, because he was doing what Isaiah 58 say. You know what I'm saying? Not the stuff that the average brew like to say. That's Korah, right? Mm-hmm. That means he's crying out, a cry for help. A call with the name of Elohim to call for, to be proclaimed, to summon. So in this one here, we'll look at to call out. Or maybe it's even crying aloud because you're crying for help for the people from God. And spare not, what spare not is, man? No, don't pay him no attention, Herman. Don't pay him no attention. Don't entertain him.
To withhold, to restrain, to hold back, to keep in check, to refrain.
Don't hold nothing back. And lift up your voice like a what?
Like a trumpet.
It said that's shofar, shan, pay raj, a ram's horn, or a cornet. That's what we read earlier, right? A trumpet, correct? You blowing that trumpet out for what? The trumpet for Jubilee, for liberty, for freedom. So remember, he's crying aloud and holding nothing back because he's blowing the horn for Jubilee, you free. Nah, he good. He ain't talking about nothing. I don't even know who this is, man. He said he a fake Israelite from Kentucky. I don't even know what that supposed to mean. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless. Then he say, show my people their what?
Transgression.
And the house of Jacob.
Their sins.
And when you're dealing with show, that's Nagad, Noon, Gamal, Dalet, published, proclaimed, to be told, to be announced. Don't you realize, man, when that man was out there on that tree, man, your sins was announced? 2 Corinthians 5, man, and 20.
Now then we are ambassadors for Hamashiach, as though Elohim did beseech by us, and we pray in Hamashiach's stead, be you reconciled to Elohim.
Be what?
Be you reconciled to Elohim.
What else?
For he had made him sin for us who knew no sin.
He made him what?
Sin for us who knew no sin.
So guess what that means? He showed the house of Jacob their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Because he blowed that out to show the debt. He said, that's nasty word. Yeah, it's old troll on here, man. See, these people be thinking they be getting up under my skin when they be trolling, whether it's Jacob Ward or Stone or this, because you know you got to have a miserable life to get on the internet perusing, more specifically perusing around YouTube, looking for lives, to try to troll somebody. You know, that's usually the sign of a man who pleasures himself manually on a regular basis. More than likely doesn't have any money, probably don't even have friends or anyone who cares about his well-being. You know, probably gets drunk all the time on Pornhub, wishing that he had more clean socks instead of having to constantly wash his because he is ruining them. But really, I'm an individual, though it might sound aggressive when I be talking to these people, bruh, I control right back with you, but I'm just going to do it in a more harsher fashion directly because I'm seeking and aiming to cut you deep to the depths of your soul. Because you came around here to troll the wrong individual. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not finna play no games with you. Because let me tell you something, right? I don't have a gaming system in my living room. You know what that means? That whole nigga, I don't play no games. I don't play Madden, I don't play 2K, I don't play WWE 2K, I don't play none of that. I would drop my foot straight up your behind. You know what I'm talking about? With no cares, concern, or regard. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah. And then I can go right back to preaching what I was preaching, or I could drop some word on you. So because you came around here because the Lord wanted you to hear something so you can take your maggot behind the hell with your wicked self. Because now the man done caught you in the cobra clutch. You done caught some gospel. Now you're going to hell. You thought you was coming to troll, but the Lord was trolling you. Hey, and I've had that understanding for a long time, you dig? So praise be to you. You thinking you coming to troll me and the Lord was trolling you. Because he already knew you were bringing your square head behind around here.
You thought for evil. He meant for good.
Hey, freak. You going to hell, boy. You know what I'm talking about? And you ain't going because I want you to go. You going because that's where you deserve to be because you're stupid. Goddamn fool. Psalms, Isaiah 58:1 one more time without breaking it up.
Cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sin.
So when you seen him on that tree and you heard him, out of your hands I commit my ruah, crying with that loud voice, you know what I'm talking about? And that was him crying aloud and sparing not. And when he was lifting up his voice to cry out like that, you know what I'm talking about? That was that Jubilee. Freedom. Liberty. Let me give you liberty by definition in that passage. I know we mentioned it Wednesday. Put it back on here one more time. And of course, atonement or that reconciliation, that's why that's done on that day, is for atonement. De'ore, Dalit, Rosh, U, and Rosh. Free run, liberty. Liberty, pure outflow. Don't pay no mind, Herman. Don't pay no mind. Don't type to that nigga. I deal with it. Don't type to that nigga, man. That's what he want. You know what I'm saying? That's what he want. You know what I'm saying? Nigga can't even spell melanin correctly, so you ain't even supposed to take him seriously. You know what I'm saying? This nigga probably typing, you know what I'm saying, with a finger in his butt. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get off, man. Don't nobody like him. His own mama don't like him. Oh, you called me a nigga. I'm so offended. I don't care nothing about that, boy. Well, I told you got the right person, man. I'm extremely disrespectful, and I'm very creative in all manner of jokes that I choose to use. If Onyx is your language, no, masturbation is your language because you're a lonely man. Your hand don't even like you, son. If he could talk, he said he'd be tired of being abused. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, come on back with it, man. Give me verse 2, Isaiah 58.
Yeah, they seek me daily and delight to know my ways.
They seek me what?
Daily.
And they delight in what?
To know my ways.
As a nation.
That did righteousness.
And forsook not.
The ordinance of their Elohim.
They asked of me.
The ordinances of justice.
And they take delight in approaching.
To Elohim.
But listen what he say.
He said, wherefore have we fasted? You see not.
Pause. Look at what he said. Now, fasted here, I got to see it. Mm-hmm. This is soon. Sad, u, and mean. So it secures you to the way of life, to abstain from food and fast, to cover over the mouth, to fast. That's what that word means. So if it secured you to the way of life and you looking at fasting, you know what I'm saying? What are you thinking about if you're abstaining from food? Remember he say meats for the belly, belly for the meats, but God will destroy it and them. Meaning if you could abstain from the desires of your belly, because you need food, you know what I'm talking about? Then you could abstain from the desires of the flesh. This is why you see him saying, no, I won't the vinegar. You know what I'm talking about? He's in the midst of affliction, also fulfilling the Nazarite vow on top of that. So when you take that into account, the people saying, wherefore have we fasted? Have you not seen it? See, that's why you see all these dudes talking about the law all the time. God ain't seeing I don't eat pork. He don't see I keep the Sabbath. That's the first thing Jacob put in there, the Sabbath, the Sabbath, the Sabbath. Come on, blood. He said he put that serpent on his belly, if I'm stating that right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did. He cursed him to go about his belly. And that take you to Philippians when he say, their God is their belly, they mind earthly things. So it's showing you that Satan's curse was to always desire natural things. This is why the Lord told Peter when he said, get behind me, Satan, because you desire the things that be a man and not a Elohim. So we have to make sure that our desires be the desires that are of heaven and not of the earth. Because when you have the desires that are of the earth, it can lead you astray. That's why he told you to seek the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness. All this stuff would be added unto you. You can go ahead now, Marvin. He's spamming the chat. I ain't got time for that. You go ahead and get him out of here. It ain't about what he's saying. He's spamming the chat. I ain't got time for that. So when you think on these things, this is the mind flex of the people. Look what he said, right? Have we not what? Wherefore? Excuse me.
Have we fasted and you see not?
Wherefore?
Have we fasted and you see?
No. That's not. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. It do got a wherefore there. I'm reading the wherefore that ain't there that you're going to skip. But wherefore?
Have we afflicted our soul?
And you
take no knowledge.
And you
take no knowledge.
He said, behold, in the day of your fast,
you find pleasure and exact all your labor.
He say, in the day of your fast. Now listen, I want you to not just think about this in the aspect of not eating. So again, this is soon, or some here, sa'u and mean. And again, this is to fast or fasting. He said, wherefore we fasted and you see it not. He said, we've afflicted our soul. And again, that is a not. That's to be humbled, to be afflicted, to be bowed down. He said, we've humbled our souls. Don't take any knowledge of this? And that's yada, which means you haven't seen it. You're not acknowledging this. He say, but you confess, which is your pleasure. He say, you exact, which is nagash. You oppress. You're hard pressed. You drive, a driver, a taskmaster. You're an oppressor. He said, when you do this here, you exact all your labors. You are bringing forth oppression. A hired workman, a sob in this here. When you humbling yourself, you ain't supposed to be humbling yourself for seeking your own pleasure. I remember what it said about Mashiach. He didn't seek his own will or his own pleasure. That's what people's problem is when they come to the word. And it comes from because of individual, how they teach it, is that you think that you can serve God and your own pleasure at the same time. That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. The things that you do in your natural life, that's just what you do. That ain't got nothing to do with him. Now, if he allowed those things to increase, praise be to Yahuwah. If he don't allow those things to increase, praise be to Yahuwah. But him, you got the dream to be this or be that. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you understand Yahuwah, man, that man don't care about none of that stuff. If it don't bring no esteem, honor, and praise to him to get your soul in line with him, what make you think he care about that for? You know what I'm saying? But what people tell you all the time, you know, God got a plan for you. His plan is for you to believe and obey. Why does every time God got a plan, it's got to do something that benefits your personal desires? That's absolutely insane. What king you know care about your personal desires over the building of his kingdom? You can't build his kingdom and serve your lust at the same time. Oh, Queen Vashti looking boy. People want to hear that. We had a conversation this morning. Mama Steph put the nigga out for a different reason. He should have got put out for both. He might have did, because I don't know what she said. But this nigga told Isaac, man, such and such it was right. You is wicked. Because nigga saying, man, Israelite or not, man, if you commit sin, boy, you wicked as hell. You wicked as hell. These niggas feel like Israelites can't do no sin. This nigga be lying and beating his meat every day. Boy, I know a dude who, I told you about this dude before, man. And it's just tough. This dude been in the word 30 years and had 15, 20 different wives, man. You can't tell this nigga wicked as hell. You mean to tell me God ain't letting no woman stay with you? Well, if you this godly, why was these women leaving you? Either you an idiot or you ain't that godly. Why? Every woman you get leave you, bro? Everyone? Stop it. Stop it. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, these boys think they good because they don't eat ham sandwiches, boy. That boy is blind. You understand me? He is blind. That man has been beating his meat for so... He got an old lady. He don't care. He a freak. He a common freak. These boys don't care. These boys be spiteful, malicious, contentious. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't got no love in them. We the Israelites, the kingdom is ours. Boy, you're not going to be there. Not at the rate you're going. You're not going to be there. They ain't purged nothing. The only thing they done purged is the semen out there wee-wee. That's the only thing they purged. I only say that because a lot of these boys are freaks. You know what I'm saying? And these boys will come up and they don't say you can't masturbate in the law. Why would you tell a godly man to go play with himself? Why would you tell that man to do that, bro? You mean to tell me that man need to lay that out for you to know that's probably not a wise thing to tell somebody to do? I told you I just heard a dude say you can smoke crack. You don't say in the law you can't do it. Are you serious, nigga? Have you seen a crackhead before? I sold crack. You don't tell nobody to smoke crack, bro. Well, it's not unlawful. It's not in the Torah. Come on, bro. I done heard dudes say it's not unlawful for a woman to be a lesbian because it don't say that explicitly. Even though this man said anything that is all unrighteousness is an abomination. All you would need, if you know Yahuwah, you would know certain things like, yeah, bro, don't do that, bro. No. These niggas need to see it in the law. You know what I'm talking about? To know not to do it. You wicked as hell. You wicked as hell. There's no way around that. You are an evil individual. You know what I'm talking about? Like, come on, man. These dudes be coming up with stuff to justify taking niggas' wives. Man, these dudes be on some other stuff. You hear me? Hell, I told you about how these niggas got tricked by a doggone woman who wanted to be a man. These niggas looking at penis pics. Bro, let me tell you something, man. If you have to examine somebody's penis to know if they're a man or not, you have no business preaching the gospel to anyone. You don't need to be teaching anyone, because I did not need to see a photograph of a phallus to know that that wasn't a man. The nigga had titties, bro. I'm talking about, and hips, and jeans, loose jeans. He told my man, I looked at the picture of the penis, man. I couldn't really tell. Whoa, this nigga's gay. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I heard that nigga say that, man. I fell on the floor. I couldn't believe what I heard, man. You had to. I'm not examining no penis, bro. I barely want to examine my son's when I got to change his diaper. I don't want to know him like that. Straight up. I'm not in the business of looking at other men's phalluses, son or not. Now, of course, we changed his diaper, but you understand what I'm saying? Of course, I got to give him a bath. He got to be clean. He can't clean himself. You know what I'm talking about? But if somebody's like, yeah, we got to do a proper counsel. We got to do a proper judgment, brother. Got to look at the photo. I can't cancel me out. God damn it. These niggas really did this, bro. See, like them dudes, like them Jewish rabbis, nah, I went past that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm glad I own, sir. I'm not handling nobody's weekly, bro. We heard that man talking about that. He pricked him on the penis. Type of nigga. You got grown man, you got this white man handling your Johnson in front of other people. You just standing there smiling. I'm sorry, let's get back on track. God damn it. This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? These people are crazy. Isaiah 58:4. I'm sorry. I'm not making none of this stuff up. This is real conversations we don't have. Man, these people be dead serious, bro. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's too many people who deal with the Bible who have a strange fascination with men handling other men's genitalia. I told y'all we had a 4.5-hour conversation. Dudes trying to say Abraham was handling another man's genitalia. Why y'all got men's genitalia on your brain? And other men handling them. Why you think another man? Why would you even think another man would want to do that? Unless that's in your mind. You trying to do that. Before I had any knowledge of anything, I never read stick a hand under your thigh to swear an oath. Never did that run across my mind. He might have been grabbing his genitalia. Not one time. It never ran across my mind when David said the love he had for Jonathan surpassed the love of a woman, that I thought that means that they were possibly homosexual. I mean, that meant that, and you know why? Because look here, man, let me tell you something, man. Brothers in arms will definitely love you in a way your wife never could. Never. You know why? Because that man will put his life on the line for you, man. Because all he talking about, Jonathan risked his life for this man. He risked his life for this man. And that's something that most women are not going to do. It doesn't make them bad. It's not a natural inclination in a woman to risk her life for her husband. She'll risk her life for her children. You know what I'm saying? And if you as a man are expecting this woman to take a bullet for you, there's something wrong with you. She gonna take a bullet for the babies, man. You know what I'm talking about? She'll step in front of the car about them babies, man. You should be concerned if she wouldn't be willing to lay her life down for her babies, because any woman with any level of maternal instinct is going to do that with no thought, cares, or concern. But she's not doing that for you. She just gonna get another husband. And I ain't mad at her. Go and get you another one, baby. You say these niggas out here got latent homo tendencies. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about that before, man. Dude, you're a grown man. That woman not gonna lay her life down for you like that, bro. It's some women, they will not. Now, there's a difference now. Now, you got some women, she may not die for you, but she'll kill a nigga, though. Because that rapper chick that died in San Francisco, they talking about she died because that ain't why she died. She died because nigga was pressing her dude And they pulled out guns. She pulled out guns and went to shooting at them dudes. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up getting shot. Now, she may not die for you, but she might kill a nigga for you, though. That's why the book tell you if you get in a scuffle, say she grabbed him by the secret part, that means, look, we didn't talk about that before. Clearly, if there's a law in there talking about if she grabbing dudes, but that means, hey, man, they were chicks out there bumping what they do, man. Oh, he's finna beat him. Not Charles. Bop, bop. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Shoot, man. Shoot. She keep that thing on and she let that thing go. Shoot, I appreciate you. You know what I'm talking about?
Like you getting overwhelmed.
Hey, man, shoot. Look at, man. I was in high school. I had a chick down with me like that, man. We definitely were finna go back to back and bump. She was with it. You know what I'm talking about? Like this here. I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna hit the nigga old lady. Then we gonna turn around. We gonna molly stomp this nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Strap down but knock the chick out. Shoot, they ain't finna jump on us like that. We finna get the hell up out of here. You know what I'm saying? They ain't want no problem though. But yeah, man, she not gonna die for you, bro. In general. Some will. If a woman willing to die for you, boy, she really, really love you, boy. Because both of your homeboys ain't gonna take no bullet for you. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas gonna run. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga gonna get behind something. He said they checked the fruits to a perverted meaning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. That's why he say greater love have no man in this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. It ain't many people love you like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've always told you, gentlemen, if you look that woman in the face and you wouldn't be willing to lay your life down for her, in the literal sense, that's not your wife, cuz. Just leave her alone. You don't love her like that. Straight up. You know what I'm talking about? You don't love her like that. That don't mean she's a bad person. Don't mean she a bad woman. It just means you don't love her like that. Because even when the people you around, boy, you got to look to the man to the right of you, to the left of you, man. And that might be military type stuff, man, to really know, boy, I'm willing to lay my life down for this man and lay a life down for him. Because you don't want to be standing next to men who ain't willing to kill or be killed. That means you got a poor regiment. About to break out, all you niggas dying. You know what I'm talking about? What a great friend, a man find a wife. Yeah, man, listen. Got a weak regiment, man. You don't want to be around people you ain't willing to put your life on the line for. That means them people you don't need to be around. Y'all don't love each other for real. Like straight up, y'all don't love each other for real. And if all that's supposed to be in the word, like we claiming, whether you know this person or not, whether you fellowship with this person or not, you supposed to be willing to lay your life down for this man. That's what he said in John, didn't he? He said, hey, this man, read it for him, man. 1 John chapter 3, man, verse 22. And I just say, I'm real big on that, man. I'm not the one to be like, well, they don't fellowship with us. You're a wicked bastard. Ain't that what they said? We rebuked him because he go not with us. He said, hey, man, leave him alone. He that is with us, gather with us. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't got to walk with you just because they don't walk with you don't mean they not of God, man. Don't be so simple. That's that nigga stuff these niggas out here pushing, man. Because they want you in their organization. They need that tithe money, man. You know what I'm saying? They need that applause you giving them, man. They need that validation. Y'all niggas getting pimped on a whole nother level. Y'all ain't even getting pimped for money. Y'all getting pimped to help a nigga's self-esteem go up. Don't even know it. You nigga getting pimped to contribute to your own oppression because these niggas want to rule over you so bad. Yeah, man, that's what these niggas own. You got to peep the game. Sometime, man, remember I told you, man, Pac said this a long time ago, man, I ain't never forget it. Because there's some real junkie said, man, he said, hey, man, these niggas is characters, man. You can't just be sitting around here bobbing your head to the beat. You got to be listening to what these people saying. Is that real to you? Is that real to you? Is the stuff that some of these people be doing and the moves that they be making, is that real to you, bro? I don't care nothing about they saying black people is Israelites, bro. I'm talking about how they kicking their game, how they moving, all that. That's real to you, man? My God, today. Come on with it, bro. 1 John 3 and 22.
It might be verse 16 that you're looking for.
Well, come on with it. Verse 16. We got it wrong.
It said, hereby perceive we love of Elohim because he laid down his life for us. And we ought to
He said, hold on, we perceive the love of Elohim that he what?
Because He laid down his life.
That he what?
Laid down his life for us.
You see how the love that Yahushua had, because that's what David said about Jonathan, right? And Jonathan means what? Yahuwah is gracious, right? So the beloved has so much love for he who Yahuwah has grace on that it surpassed the love of women, because he was willing to lay his life down for him. How many times Jonathan risked his life for David, man? David was never put in the position he had to risk his life for Jonathan. Jonathan risked his life for David on a multitude of occasions. Went against the king. That's why David could say that. How many people gonna go against their daddy, who the king, and put their life on the line for a man? You understand the level of love you got to have for somebody to do that, man? Regardless if it's your daddy, the king, bro, this man put his life on the line. And you ain't gonna put your life, dudes ain't gonna put their life on the line for their churn. You know how I know that? Because a lot of these whole niggas won't even get up and go do nothing to feed their churn. Talking about God all day. Shut your mouth. Nigga ain't got no goddamn job talking about this woman need to submit to me. You need to submit an application. I don't know who you're applying to, but you need to submit it. Hell, if it ain't but for unemployment, nigga. Come on, man. Verse 16. I'm saying this sounds fun, but y'all be surprised how many of these dudes in this word ain't and won't work and say this woman ought to submit to me. Man, look here, man. The only time she's submitting is in the bed. That's the only time he can get some submission. You a poor nigga if the only time you can get a woman to submit to you because she cock her legs open. You ain't worth nothing, cuz. You ain't worth nothing. A lot of these niggas like this here, they get mad. I got value just because I ain't got no money. I ain't got no value. Once you go to talking about you got value, even though you poor, I already know you a worthless nigga all the way around the bowl. Because somebody who really got value don't talk like that. We know the book say a poor man's wisdom isn't heard, but once you got to say, I'm valuable, even if I ain't, that means you ain't worth nothing. You ain't worth nothing. You just want somebody to validate you and say, you are somebody. Nigga, you're not. You know why? Because you're sitting on your couch, fondling yourself, watching television. You have no vision, no plan, no hustle, no gumption, no nothing. Keep this man's name out your mouth. We should go walk around with knives and cut some of these niggas' tongues out their mouth so they can't talk no more. But some of them probably learn sign language, so we have to cut their hands off. You don't deserve to communicate nothing that pertains to Yahuwah at your present state in life. And y'all need to stop listening to these people. They wouldn't keep doing it if you would ignore them. They need to be ignored. Not rebuked, not checked. Ignore them. When he said there's some mouths that need to be stopped, that's a different class of people. That's people who actually got some influence. You talking about a random nigga. Stop listening to him. He's only on here talking because nobody in life listens to him. His grandma don't want to talk to him. Definitely. And I don't say that to be funny. I say that because that's the reality. Y'all know it's a lot of bum niggas out here trying to teach some word. As long as they got an audience, they're going to keep on going. Y'all remember that video of that dude fake preaching in his room? When he was talking about coming in, he doing all this here, that pastor stuff, Bishop Baptist stuff. I think that's what who do that. And his granddaddy or daddy walk in the room. You need to get in here and take a bath. You know what I'm talking about? He ended up doing all that fake and pop. Then came in there. You need to take a bath, clean your room. I haven't tried to find that. That's just fun. Come on. Verse 16 one more time.
Hereby perceive we the love of Elohim, because he laid down his life for us. And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren.
You ought to lay down your lives for who?
The brethren.
For the who?
For the brethren.
There it is. There it is. If this man laid his life down for you, you should lay down your life for the brethren. He didn't say the brethren at your congregation. Because everybody at every congregation is your brother. Silly. Oh, I get it. You got to know them personally. They got to have your phone number, huh? You wicked as hell. You just didn't know you were. But I say that seriously and being facetious at the same time. We like that because the people who teaching us, that's how they teach us. You know what I'm saying? That have your allegiance to your congregation versus having allegiance to Yahuwah. Same thing I told Cud this morning. We didn't talk about, I am not pro-black. I am not pro-Israelite. I am pro-Yahuwah. My allegiance is to Yahuwah. My allegiance is not to the nation of Israel. Never has been, never will be. Not since I've been in the world. My allegiance has and will, and Yahuwah willing, he keep me in the mind and forever will be allegiance to him. When you become pro-black, you'll compromise righteousness to satisfy the group. You'll go out like Saul. You know what I'm talking about? You mess around and do what Aaron did and make the golden calf for the people. You know what I'm saying? You have to be pro-Yahuwah. You can never be pro-black. You can never be pro-Yasharal. You can never be that. See, these dudes are trying to make it seem like when you do that you don't love your people. That's a manipulation tactic. You know what I'm saying? That's a manipulation tactic. You know what I'm saying? I hate to use the term gaslighting because it's overused, but by definition, that's what that is, because they're trying to make you doubt your own reality. You know what I'm saying? To believe in that being pro-Yahuwah and not pro-Israel is hating your own people. Yet these people hate their own people because they let them flounder and drown in the waters of sin with no regard. Dark psychops. That's what made me angry. And I can understand why, because it makes me angry also. That's why I snapped when they were talking about it this morning. I ain't want to hear that junk. I don't care who you is. He said he that commits sin is of the devil. He didn't put a nationality on that. He didn't put an ethnicity on that. He said he that commits sin is of the devil. You know what I'm talking about? That's the end of the conversation. He said, be ye Kadash, because I am Kadash. You know what I'm saying? That's what the man said. He said, if you walk contrary to him, Civic, what he going to do? So if you walking in sin, he going to be contrary to you. And you know who he was talking to when he made that statement? Israel. He wasn't talking. See, anytime it's talking about when he telling you about yourself, you don't want to read them passages. Wicked as hell. That's all. But you got to be pro-Yahuwah. When you pro-Yahuwah, you got a better chance of becoming who it is you desire to become than being pro-Israel. When you become pro-Yasharal, pro-Yisrael, all that type of stuff, you be a hypocritical individual. And you'll be a compromising individual. And that's why you hear stuff, man, they got us looking bad. You care more about how the nation of Israel, the Hebrew movement looks, quote unquote, than how it make Yahuwah look. Because that's all these people care about. You're no different than the Christians you ridicule on a day-to-day basis. You are them. You are them. You're the very thing that you say you despise, you have become. You know what I'm talking about? They don't want to hear that though, Civic. But guess what? I'll be the one to say it because I don't care. Don't care. When I say I don't care about being accepted in your crew's cliques and clans. I don't have to be on any of your live streams. I don't have to be in anything that y'all got going on. I don't have to be on your round tables. I don't have to be in your circles. I don't have to be in any of those things because I don't want to hang with you that bad. I don't. Not to compromise what's just and true before the throne of the Almighty Abba and Shamahim. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because you ain't worth going to hell for. And see, when I say not worth going to hell for, I understand, Brother Herman, too. Rock out, baby. It's all great. What I mean is that you and what you want is not worth being separated from the Almighty. See, I'm not even talking about the trepidation or fear of being in a place where the worm dies not and the fire shall not be quenched. I'm talking about literally being separated from him. See, to me, that's more harrowing and distressing than the flame. A life without Yahuwah is no life at all. You know what I'm saying? And if you've had the opportunity to experience him, you would never want to be separated from him. The thought of separation from Yahuwah will bring a level of anxiety that you could not even imagine. It will bring a level of sorrow that cannot be quantified with words. You know what I'm saying? And there's a psalm that speaks about that. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. See, most people have never experienced Yahuwah, so being separated from him is of no concern. That's why I've always implored y'all and exhorted y'all to strengthen your faith so that you can experience him yourself. Because once you do, you're not going back. You know what I'm talking about? See, when I done told people over the years, like, oh, I'm not going back. They think that's just something you saying out of. No, I've actually experienced this man in several different instances and ways of where I know without a doubt and for a certainty that Yahuwah is the living Elohim and the creator of heavens and earth. Bro, I'm not going back, bro. Ain't no going back, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Those are just not words that I'm saying so it to sound good. You understand what I'm telling you? There's no going back, bro. I know that this man is the living God. Job 19:25. Read that for him, bro. Like what he say right here, bro. Well, I know this for a certainty. There is no going back, bro. None. That's not happening. God forbid. Job 19:25.
For I know my Redeemer lives.
See, I know my Redeemer lives. Tell him what Redeemer is, man. You talking about this man? We talking about who went through this suffering and disquieted his anxiety through his trust in Yahuwah, man, to reconcile, to comport, to purge that sin, man.
Let's go.
And we already know what that is. That's the kinsman Redeemer. The kinsman Redeemer that bring forth the Jubilee or bring forth the liberty. Amen, bro. I know that man live, bro. I'm not going back. I can't speak for nobody else. That's why I implore you to strengthen your faith so you can experience him yourself. And then you can understand why I can say, oh, ain't no going back, bro. Amen, Brother Dave. Ain't no going back, bro. No. Job 19:25. It's that serious, blood. Go ahead.
For I know my Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth.
Facts.
And though after my skin warmth destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Elohim.
Yet in my flesh shall I see Elohim.
Whom I shall see for myself.
And not another.
And my eyes shall behold, and not another. Though my reins be consumed within
me. That man talking about the resurrection of the dead, cuz. That man know that the Son of God sit at the right hand of the Father and that he lived. He say, man, you looking for Yahushua, man, he ain't here, man, he risen, cuz. That man alive. What was you talking about? Why you seeking amongst the living, amongst the dead? Ain't that what he said in Isaiah? Man, what you here for? That man alive, blood. That man ain't here. I ain't seen that. Boy, I know that happened, though. You know what I'm talking about? Not because I read it off no words, off no page, boy. Because I know this man ain't no liar. And I know that the testimony that he laid for. And that his son was the complete manifestation and fulfillment of that which he prophesied ahead of time. So I know for surety he the Son of God. I don't care because another nigga don't believe that. That don't bother me none. What that mean to me? He said, I'm sold out of my mind is made up. That's the song I used to sing at church when I was legit. I heard that. D-side, I know that song. I sung it last night. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know none of them songs. But if that's the sentiment of the song,
yeah, my heart is fixed, my mind is made up.
Yeah, I'm good, boy. I'm like, Paul, man, I believe, therefore I have spoken. He was quoting songs when he said it, like, yeah, bro, ain't no going back, blood. Go back to what? To sin? That's insane. You know what I'm talking about? To the world? That's even that's retarded. Go back to what? Nah, we ain't going back to nothing. We pressing forward to the mark of the high calling of Yahushua HaMashiach. Ain't no going back, blood. Ain't no going back. But we all in. You know why? Because I know this man ain't no liar. So when he say, let me die the death of the righteous so my latter end be like his, that man came out the grave. That's the latter end I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? That man cried out to show us them sins and transgressions so you could be redeemed as that kinsman redeemer to set you free. Hey, I know it's the truth because he said if the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. Well, you believe that word. That man will free you from sin. Boy, I'm trying to tell you. I ain't telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I live because I believe what this man said, man. You know what I'm talking about? And when I say live, I ain't even talking about how people talking about live, man. I'm talking about when this man say, hey, man, I don't frustrate the grace of God. It's no longer I that live, but a Mashiach that live, boy, the word live, boy. Because the word never died. Ain't that what it say, Sid? Okay, let Yahuwah be esteemed. Them niggas better get their mind right and their game tight because they slacking on their macking and they limping and they pimping. They better tighten up on their backstroke or they going to hell. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is that part ain't going to hell ain't for us. This is for us. But hey, man, this man real strengthen yourself, baby. It's something for you at the end of the road, baby. It's something for you. That man got something for you. You know what I'm talking about? He that believe on him shall not be ashamed. That man got something for you. You know what I'm saying? He done promised it. He done purposed it. And he said, I'm going to fulfill it because it came out my mouth. So if that man done promised you everlasting life in the kingdom, it's waiting for you, baby. That man said, it's his father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That's what he said, ain't it? Then guess what? That's what it is then. Then he said, in my father's house, there's many booths, many tabernacles, many mansions, whatever word you go. And this the key point. He said, if it wasn't so, I would have said it. Nigga, you know what that baby said? What I'm going to lie to you for? What I'm going to lie to you for? You know what I'm talking about? That's how I took that the first time I read. Like, what am I lie to you for? Who you is to lie to? Let me tell you something, man. People only lie for two reasons: to deceive or out of fear. You know what I'm saying? And he let him know I don't got to lie to you. I ain't got to deceive you, and I ain't scared of you. You know what I'm talking about? Man, don't let these people make you think God ain't gonna do what he said he gonna do. He said he gonna do it. Oh, a man wrote it. Okay, fine then. A man wrote it then. That make you feel better about yourself? You read a lot of stuff a man wrote. You know what I'm saying? You read that stuff your daddy wrote. You ain't seen him since. Let me stop doing that. Somebody might be traumatized. Daddy left for cigarettes, never came back.
He left me a letter saying he's going to get some milk.
He left me a letter saying he was going to get some milk, and I believed him. He ain't been back yet. Yeah, man. I mean that, bro. I'm going to tell you something, man. You don't realize that Yahuwah is the living God in this service, man, till you in a lower state. You know what I'm saying? Like he said in Jeremiah, man, they got their head tilted to the ground saying, show us the way to Yahuwah of hosts that we might serve him in an everlasting covenant. See, a lot of what these Israelites don't want to deal with, man, and this man is going to humble you to a point where you have to lift up your eyes towards heaven and seek this man, and they don't want to do it. They don't want him. They want the title of being, they want what it means to be attached to him, but they don't want him. See, that's the same if some of y'all have never been in a relationship with somebody. They didn't really want you. They just wanted whatever benefits they got from dealing with you. But they didn't really want you. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really love you. They didn't really take pleasure in you. They took pleasure in whatever benefit they thought they could get from you. That's how these niggas do the Lord, bro. That's right. That's right, Herman, man. And you got to remember that. Because when you see that, then that'll also allow you to not let people, at least, let me tell you something, right? I told you before, right? Nobody can't, don't be upset if people use you, because you should be useful. I've told you this many times, don't let people misuse you. And once you recognize that somebody's coming with the intent of misusing you, see, you can't recognize when somebody's coming to misuse you if you got your head stuck in the sand. I'm saying that because if who you is who you is, you never alter who you are and what you do because other people are seeking to take advantage of that because they are POSs. You know what I'm talking about? You know, large pieces of excrement, if you would. You know what I'm saying? Because they are lacking integrity and are users and selfish and all that. Never let the wicked alter who you are. The example reason that is the wicked never altered who Yahushua was. The wicked never altered who the Father was. He said he signed rain on the wicked and the just. You never let wicked people adjust who you are at your core. If you are a given person, you remain that way. You just cut off that benefit from that individual. They're no longer able to receive that. See, the wicked win when you alter who you are because of their behavior. You never alter who you are because of other people's behavior. You maintain who you are consistently. They just don't get the ability to benefit from you. You know what I'm saying? Or you show the same level of mercy and compassion. You just aware of what type of time they on, and that's dropping coals of fire on their head so Yahuwah can light them up. Y'all know what it's like to put them coals in that grill and you done hit it with that lighter fluid and toss that match in that hole. That's what you're doing to them people when you continue to be gracious and merciful and compassionate and godly towards them, even though they have shown plainly that they are your enemy. This is what Proverbs tell you to do, man. They think they're getting over. Let them think they're getting over. Man, look here, man. Let me tell you something. Y'all have mercy on the soul, right? My homeboy, I knew he was smoking dope. This had already like this here, right? But I remember this because we got this from a movie, Bronx Tales. Dude owed Jit $20. You know what I'm saying? He chasing Jit down by this $20. And Sonny pulled up to him like, man, what you doing? He owe me $20. And he was like, man, if he owe you these $20, man, you think he gonna come back and fool with you again? He was like, nah. He said, well, you paid $20 to get him out your life. Because you ain't never got to worry about him again. You know what I'm saying? Now we seen this as teenagers. Now we in the game and we seen certain stuff like, man, once you peep, okay, this nigga on, it's certain stuff you do, they gonna leave you alone. They gonna leave you alone. You coming out cheap by getting rid of them. But you don't alter who you are at your core because this person is wicked. That's why I told you later before, I ain't cooking for no man. Baby, if you like to cook and feed people, do that. If that nigga misused that, how is that a loss to you? That's his loss. You have to sit back and look at that, man. If people do certain things, man, you're not losing, they're losing. They're losing. Because if this is who you are, then this is what you do. It's not a show for you. This is who I am. So once you show me that you are a user, that you're selfish, that you're wicked as hell, whatever the case may be, now you cut off from me, you don't get the benefit from who I am no more. That's your loss. But you have to know the value that of who you are as an individual, what you stand for, what you're about. And you don't let wicked people corrupt that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't let wicked people corrupt that. That's right, man. You don't let people corrupt that. You maintain who you are. You know what I'm saying? You maintain your dignity, you maintain your class, but most importantly, you maintain the faithfulness of godliness that is within you and let that be a testimony against them so that they may burn in hell. Because best believe when they stand before the throne, Yahuwah will show you as a testimony. When he talking about a testimony against them, man, that come in a multitude of ways, man. Your life could literally be brought up as a witness against the wicked by how you dealt with them and their response and how they dealt with you. And that would condemn them. You have to keep that in your mind. You ain't got to condemn nobody with no word. Condemn them with living godly. Condemn them with being just. Condemn them with being long-suffering and merciful. Condemn them by manifesting the Spirit of God so they would know surely that this was a son and daughter of Elohim who I have offended, and now I shall surely go to hell behind it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. You got to do all that extra stuff. Now, that's more easier said than done when you be getting done wrong or you getting misused. You know what I'm saying? Because your natural inclination is to want to do what? Fight back. Defend yourself. It's a natural inclination. But you got to let the word take over. You got to let the Spirit of God take over. Because when your Redeemer was in that situation, when they threatened, he threatened not. When they reviled, he reviled not. But he committed himself to him who judges righteously. When they came at him, he opened not his mouth. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do any of them things. You know why? We talk about it all the time. What did Jacob tell Laban? My righteousness is going to speak for me. Let your righteousness speak for them. You ain't got to open your mouth. Let your righteousness speak for you, man. God will talk to them. They going to hell, cuz. Once you go to doing all that fighting, you doing the opposite of when he say, hey, man, blessed are you when men revile you and persecute you and cast your name as evil and separate you from their company. He said, man, your name written in heaven. When you want to fight, you erasing your name from heaven. What you want, man? Shoot, man, deal with that. That do take faith. But it also take the understanding, the knowing, the seeing the elements of the men in the book who did that. Because when David was in them situations, he didn't threaten, he didn't revile. Saul was trying to kill him. Ain't nobody trying to kill you. Nigga just talking about you. You know what I'm talking about? So we look at it if we can't even contain ourselves just because people are talking about you, what you gonna do when an ungodly nigga trying to kill you? You ain't did nothing. Man, when that man came up cursing David, David told Joab, man, be easy, man. Let that nigga curse. Most of us couldn't do that. Oh, that nigga talking to you, ain't talking to me. You sound like a goddamn fool because you don't trust God, you trust yourself. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do all that. All right, cuz. He said, Yahuwah bid him to curse, let him curse. That's what he said.
He got it.
And guess what? Cuz got God. He got God. You can't read vengeance is of Yahuwah, and then every chance you get, you trying to fight. Because that's not what the Lord did. And you can say whatever you want to say. Man, I ain't with that. Bro, who you trying to prove that you so tough to? What you trying to prove? Nigga ain't gonna play with me. Nigga, what? Is you, what we on the block? Is you godly or not? Why is you giving that type of end? Let your life be a witness against them. Let the mercy and compassion and long suffering of Yahuwah that reside in you, let that be a testimony so they can go to hell. What are they? Proverbs 25 and 20. Read that one, man. Yeah, Yahushua put the deed in. And that's because Peter didn't know, because Peter was being a real one. Like this here, say you ain't gonna touch my homeboy. You ain't gonna run up on my Lord like that. Nigga, you finna die. Peter didn't know the book said it had to go down like that. A lot of people blame Peter for that, man. 25 and 21. Peter wasn't wrong. He did what a real nigga's supposed to do.
But you know he's going to lay down his life.
He was letting you know, I'm finna ride about my brother. I'll kill and we'll die tonight. That's why when he rebuked him, he said, how else the scripture go? Because Peter didn't know that. See, we look back on what these people did because you know these things because you reading about it. It's been bear witness. It's been testified to. Peter didn't know that. The book said these men didn't even know that it said that he would resurrect from the dead from the scripture. They didn't know that. Peter didn't know he had to deny him 3 times. Peter, when he told them smite the shepherd and the sheep shall scatter, he said, all y'all will be offended. The man looking at him like, what is he talking about? Why is he saying that? They didn't know. They had no idea how this was supposed to go down. And we look at these people from the standpoint of, oh, he's this and he's that. No, you wicked as hell. Because you speaking on a man that if you was in the same situation, guess what you would have did? The same thing he did. Because the book gonna be fulfilled. You would have did the same thing. I don't know. I don't know why people think, oh, I wouldn't have did that. Remember what he told them people when he said, we wouldn't be partakers of killing the prophet. He said, you let me know you they sons, nigga. Just because you said that, I know you they your daddy. Gotta be careful with that, man. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't telling you that to make nobody feel bad. I'm telling you that because the first time we probably had that conversation, like something like that might have been 2000. Yeah, it had to be 2009. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, shoot, I hope I would do such and such. I'm like, nigga, I don't know what I do. And I was only thinking from the standpoint of, I don't like to speak about what I would do in a situation that another person was in that I ain't never been in. Because I don't know what I would do. Because we were talking about, like when we heard Killer Priest One Step, and he was rapping about Deuteronomy 28:68. And our conversation was, man, I wish we would have knew this in 1998 when we was 18. Maybe we wouldn't have went through XYZ, but then I was like, but we would have believed it? You know what I'm saying? Because we heard the record. We heard basic instructions before leaving Earth. Nigga, I listen to that song every day on Liquid Swords, bro. This is like 1996. You know what I'm saying? Like every day. But I bought Heavy Mental by Killer Priest, bro. This is 1998. Listen to this tape every day. That junk never registered. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm sitting back looking at this as a 28, 20, we're finna get ready to turn 29-year-old man, looking at like, if it didn't click then, would it have clicked if somebody would have told me? Probably not. You hope you would have, but in reality, man, you had to go through everything that you went through to get to that point to receive the word when you did. You just being optimistic that, oh, I know, no, you did. You're thinking about yourself as whatever age you're in now to think that you would do that then, but you didn't have that mind then that you have now. So you probably wouldn't have did what you thought you would have done. And you have to remember that. You have to look at how did you think when you were 18? How did you think when you were 21? You definitely don't think it. I hope you ain't thinking at 30 like you did when you were 21. You wasted 9 years of your life. If you still thinking the same way and 5, 10, 15 years don't went by, you wasting time because you might as well just go and climb to the top of the building and get it over with. Because you wasting time. You know what I'm saying? You might as well be asleep. You ain't benefiting yourself. Come on, man. 58 and 4. We need to get these people out there, man.
That proverb.
Oh, yeah. Proverb 25:20.
Say, if your enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat.
If your enemy be what?
Hungry, give him bread to eat. And if you be thirsty, give him water to drink. For you shall heap coals of fire upon his head.
That's why he say,
shall reward you.
He said, who gonna reward you?
Yahuwah.
That's why that man told you, don't take that man that last supper unworthy. You doing so, you heaping coals of fire on your head. Uh-oh. You know, we still got to come back and talk about that along with Genesis 24. People don't want to hear that one said. Read it again, man. Let it sink in their brain a little bit.
Say, if your enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat.
Give him what to eat?
Give him bread to eat.
Take, this is my body.
And if he be thirsty, give him water to drink.
Take, this is my blood in the new covenant for remission of sin.
For you shall heap coals of fire upon his head, and Yahuwah shall reward you.
My God, today. Now notice he told you he rewards you if you do good to your enemies. But these whole niggas tell you that's a New Testament thing.
Where do you think it came from?
Yeah, the mule kicked that nigga in his mouth. Because that's what Jacob did with Laban. That's what David did with Saul. They turned the other cheek to their brother. This is somebody, this they people. This is how you know these people ain't got the spirit of God in them. Because guess what? Yahuwah turned the cheek to you when you was an enemy of his. But you can't do it to an enemy of yours, though. You ain't never thought about all that sin you were committing. You was his enemy. He turned the other cheek every time. Showed compassion and mercy to you when he should have killed you. But you can't do it to another person. You hypocritical bastard. You see how in your fast you strive for fast and debate? My God, today. Look at it. They don't want to hear that shit. Isaiah 58 and 4, man. We got to get the people out
here, man. Herman said he got his charger, man. He good.
I need to go to sleep. It's 11:45. Now, when you look at strife and debate, both of these words in Hebrew mean strife and contention. Go ahead, verse 4.
Behold, you fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness.
To smite with the who?
With the fist of wickedness.
My God, today. Go ahead.
You shall not fast as this day to make your voice to be heard.
You don't fast on this day to make your what?
Voice heard on high.
To make your voice what?
To be heard on high.
These boys fasting so they can smite with the fist of wickedness. Man, what that mean, man? These boys around here smiting. They trying to kill somebody, man. They're trying to kill somebody, man. The sense of grasping. They got a clenched hand. That boy said he want to fall off the roof. But praise you. I ain't mad at you, blood. Listen, he says, is this such a what?
Such a fast that I have chosen.
For a man to what?
Afflict his soul.
And to bow down his head.
As a bulrush.
And to spread sackcloth and ashes.
Under him.
Will you call this?
A fast and an acceptable day to Yahuwah.
Is this not the fast that I have?
Chosen.
To loose the what?
Bands of wickedness.
And to undo the what?
Heavy burden.
To let the what?
Oppress go free. And that you break every yoke.
You see how this taking us to that day of atonement? When he say this is a fast that he did to let the who go free? The oppressed. Oppressed here in this instance is Rasats, Rosh, Sod, and Sod again. This is to crush, to oppress, to be broken into pieces. Well, why are you crushed and oppressed? He says so that you can go free. What are you oppressed by? Free, of course, if you remember from free among the dead, that is kosher. That's free from slavery. Free from taxes and obligation. And what did he tell you? If the Son shall make you free, you shall be what? Free indeed. And what did they do on Jubilee? They set you what? Free. And who are you set free by? That kinsman redeemer who paid that debt. Now you're released. And he said this is an affliction or humbling, which is what the Day of Atonement is about. which is what he literally experienced to be that reconciliation or the atonement on that unleavened bread. Even though it wasn't the 10th day of the 7th month, he still fulfilled the works of atonement in his suffering. You understand? And in doing so, he was able to do what? To loose the bands of wickedness. Because that's what atonement was supposed to do, right? But it wasn't possible with the blood of bulls and goats to be able to do that. So when you look at bands, Kart Subah, Kat, Raj, Saad, Bat, Hey, bonds. Also a fetter or pain. So you're in bondage. And what did he say? He that commits sin is the servant of sin. You're in bondage. They say we Abraham's seed. We ain't been in bondage to any man. He say this affliction is an affliction that I have bakar or chosen to patak or to open the fetters of wickedness, which you take that back to Daniel, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to bring in everlasting righteousness. You know what I'm talking about? See, these people don't want to hear that. And then, of course, he said to break the yoke. That's to tear it away. Nathak. He wants to break every yoke, and he wants you to be free from the obligation. You know what I'm talking about? We'll start right now because it's 11:45. We'll pick back up again on tomorrow. We'd probably be good. Maybe on this particular topic, we can go back to some of those contradictions. But hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. What I want to be able to understand Wednesday when we started is the level of faith that he had to remove the worry and anxiety that he had to be able to perform the sufferings that he experienced in order to set us free. And in setting you free, now you're not only free from sin, you free from the, thank you, Yahuwah, man. Yahuwah, bro. Not only that, but you free from the bondage of death. Oh. And this is what people don't pay attention to. Like I said to Jacob earlier, all these people want to do is throw verses at us. You know what I'm saying? All these people want to do is accuse and scandal monger, piece and cake, and all this other stuff, versus focusing on what we need to be able to get to where it is that we say that we desire to go. Nobody's paying attention to the stuff that people going through and dealing with, that they've experienced in their life. You have to understand something, right? I've always said this here, no matter who's been around at any given time. Yahuwah is the reason why everyone's lives have intersected. You know what I'm saying? Now, I may be the core left, but my desire is that everybody, tap in and know each other. You know what I'm saying? I might be okay because you know me, but now you can meet this person, whatever y'all do, that's between y'all. They ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? But what meaning is, but at the end of the day, it's his word that has drawn all us into the same place at the same time to be able to interact with one another. In a capacity for what cause? That we might all be drawn together in him and become one in him. Peace, Brother Herman. And become one in him. He said the whole world will know you're my disciples if you do what? Love one another. You know what I'm talking about? So that's right. So when you see all that, that's the rhyme, reason, and purpose. Man, all us don't be in man, ain't none of us here. We're here by no accident, for by no happenstance. That's this man's desire. So when you take that, I wouldn't care if it was on the virtual side of things, whatever the case may be. You just have to make the effort of reaching out to people, hollering at people, at least make yourself accessible. If they don't holler back, okay, that don't mean that they got no beef. You know what I'm saying? Or this, that, and the third. But at least they know, hey, man, I know you be the such and such. No, I be around there too. Holler at me. Look at right. I done been in rooms with Judah Priest plenty times. This nigga will crash out. You know what I'm saying? Nigga's absolutely hilarious. He sat in here long enough. I seen the notification when it came. He dropped his phone number like, hey, bro, call me. Because clearly whatever we were dealing with this evening, it resonated in his mind. I ain't never had no problem with this man, but since the fight, because I don't know him. I just know you get him going, he gonna cuss everybody out, and he's entertaining in doing so because he's be dead serious. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, Most of these dudes probably, if he had an offer to reach out to holler at him, probably didn't do it. To be able to know, because it's one thing to know how he portray himself on here than the actual him. You know what I'm saying? Because the actual him may be drastically different than who he portrays himself on this app. Like it's some people that say, hey man, I done seen you on the videos. I thought you was this. Now I'm like, nah, because I'm just at work, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a mean person. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not going to cuss you out because you got an issue or you fell short in a particular. Well, why would I do that? What would I do that for? Well, man, I heard you talking about people going to hell. Well, man, look here. That ain't you, is it? Then I wasn't talking to you. You know what I'm talking about? What has to be said has to be said. You know what I'm saying? But we know, look at, man, I done been through some things. Everybody done been through some things, man. You know what I'm talking about? But the one thing we got to do, that man said they're going to know you my disciples if you love each other, man. You know what I'm saying? If you love each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. These people don't believe we just man disciples because niggas don't love each other. No matter how they try to spin it, win it, or grin it. You know what I'm talking about? These niggas don't love each other, man. And it shows. And it shows. So that's not the avenue that we want to take, man. The avenue that we want to take is that in all that we do, that we believe on this man as the scripture has said, so out of our bellies shall flow rivers of living water, and that your Father in heaven might be esteemed, and that you might receive a full reward in heaven. You know what I'm talking about? So again, I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Yahuwah willing, we'll be back at it on tomorrow. Make it do what it do. And y'all willing until that time.